Yeah, it's got that. I'll have a bag of your Swedish Loki, please. Dispensary. All right, I guess we live finally. Hey, good morning. I say good morning. What's going on? Welcome to the new Blerd Order every Saturday morning, where we been getting that energy that you need. And today we is gonna talk about these Norse gods that always coming down and always wearing green. And we smoking on that green, and we getting on it live. And we on this thing, and we is on here live. And it's me and Ty Briggs and my homie Tyrone and my home girl, yes. And you know she do it all. And we all in this bit, and we doing it so long. And you know how we just hit it. Oh, well, gotta hit it hard. If you ain't really ready, then you better tell your friend. This is just for the beginning, and he do it to the end, cause it go
Bro, we gotta get you in the studio, bro.
I thought Luke was about to step through the door just with the new dad.
Like, go. Yes. As you all know, it is a beautiful Saturday morning. I am joined, as usual, with the rest of the Blerds. Let's start off with the blerdiest of them all, Yasmin. How art thou this morning, young lady?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing this morning?
We are good now that the timeline is great. What's going on, Tyrone? What's good, bro?
Morning. Feeling good. Back home, hanging out.
Yeah, man, ready. That's a dope green screen of your house.
Thank you. I live in the subway now of New York, so this is I'm stealing internet, and this green screen is pulling it off. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Can I get change? You got some change?
Please, don't feed the subway artists, please. They'll never leave. Real quick, what time for Tyler? What up, man?
What up, man? Yo, shout out to Tyrone at the substation, man. I love that little. I love the way he folds his lip in like a little baby, like when he's asking for money. Like he's like, yo, money.
Hey, that is what it is, man. And of course, I'm here, man. What's going on? It's Saturday, and we definitely want to talk about Loki. This week there were some things that were revealed clearly, right? There is a new Loki in charge, the HLIC, we could call it. We've got Lady Loki. Surprised to say that somebody was in my text message inbox boasting about how it is so cool to be right all the time, because Ty was the one who originally, I guess, assumed that this was going to be Lady Loki, and for once he was right, because we were lucky to end up being Lady Loki and not Mephisto, right? Because we knew Mephisto was going to turn up in that WandaVision series, but it didn't. So finally, 3 shows later, Ty's predictions finally come to fruition. So go ahead and boast a little bit, Ty. Go ahead, man. I know you want to talk.
Listen, before I even get into this, I feel like Tyrone wants to be a spoiler and come in and say, "Hey, that's not Lady Loki." All right. Well, sir, I have heard the same rumors that this could possibly be Enchantress. And not Lady Loki, but for right now, we have not gotten any factual evidence to that idea. So we are going to go with who she looks like right now, and that would be Lady Loki until we get some type of new news.
Is that fair, Tyrone? I don't know if he's playing by the book here. I don't know if we do care.
No factual. They look like facts.
Well, I mean, that's right there. Right now, because they haven't confirmed. All we have is conjecture and speculation. So, we can only take. So, the Enchantress line for me comes from like her, her glowing hands. That was a kind of a signature of the Enchantress. Also, that she's blonde. That is also a kind of an Enchantress thing. And also, just all the other shows seem to be going in the direction of the Young Avengers. and Enchantress has quite a history with the Young Avengers. So, I'm happy either way, and I'll look forward to maybe next week texting you talking about how right I am. And maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll get my chance. Who knows? We'll see. I had my little moment when Loki said out loud that he's trying to overthrow the TVA. I was like, I went and made some tea just so I could sip it smugly. And I don't even drink tea like that, but I made some just to take that sip.
Nah, man. No, yes. What are your look? I'm not. I'm gonna keep it 100, man. The Lady Loki Enchantress, this whole timeline thing, not necessarily my jam. You know what I'm saying? I'm still kind of getting over the fact that I'm hearing that Andrew Garfield isn't actually in the Spider-Man like it was originally announced. So I'm still in a whole different zone.
I didn't like him.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he was supposed to bring the whole Spider-Verse thing together. But that was a whole timeline sequence that I was expected to kind of get introduced through what we're watching right now, because that's what Marvel does, right? They'll drop something here and it'll be applicable over here. I mean, we saw Nexus all through WandaVision, and now we're just now tapping into it. So I mean, now with Lady Loki Enchantress coming about, how did you feel when you finally saw the reveal? What was your thoughts? Just give it to us from a young lady perspective, if you would, man.
Well, first of all, I was like, hell yeah. I thought it was kind of interesting though that she had blonde hair as well. I was like, yo, wait a minute. I was like, did she have blonde hair? Or I was like, is that an Easter egg in there? So right. And also, yeah, her glowing hands was another indication too. So I don't know. I'm excited to see where this is going for sure. But I don't know. There's a lot of ways it can go. It's Loki, so I'm just kind of sitting along for the ride. I don't really have too many predictions. But as for the whole Andrew Garfield thing, do you think maybe the TVA erased his timeline? They're like,
yeah, that's a good prediction. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say this. As much as it was dope to see the reveal of Lady Loki, the speculation had already surpassed the reveal. And at this point in time, with Marvel being as intellectually sound as they are with their script writing, it was almost obvious the way they kept referring to Loki as he. The pronoun, the misdirection was prevalent, right? Mm-hmm. Like we kept Owen Wilson, he kept hitting them with the he, this Loki's, but like I feel like they were intentionally trying to throw us a loop and make it feel like there was no like there was only the Loki that we knew. But we were already talking about the Lady Loki. So every time they said he, to me, it was just further trying to push this narrative so that it'd be more of a reveal, more of a like surprise, yeah. More of a twist when they revealed this young lady. But I mean, Tyrone, I feel like you got more info on this Enchantress character. Why do we not know the difference automatically between these two characters, and why is it that it feels like they are trying to portray this young lady as a female version of Loki, and we're falling for it? Why is it so easy for us to do that?
Well, it does. It makes a difference which one they chose to go with, or if they just are doing their own sort of thing. There is a version of the Enchantress that was sort of like created by Loki to be another Loki, and then she just kind of decides to do her own thing. More likely, this is Sylvie, and there was a little bit of a spoiler kind of that was caught in like the Castilian credits or whatever. But more likely, this is Sylvie, who was a mortal who Loki imbued with his powers, and then she became the Enchantress and went her own way and became a thorn in the side of the Young Avengers. So there is some like overlap between Loki and the Enchantress to the point where like it's not incorrect to say Lady Loki or to call her Loki in a way, you know what I mean? Just because of her lineage, so to speak. So there's some confusion until they clear it up. And I imagine the next episode is going to be, some conversation between Loki and this new variant.
Well, why doesn't Loki know who this is?
Okay, so I have a sort of theory about that.
Please.
So remember when they were like flipping through and they were showing Loki all the different versions of himself that were available in the TVA? Remember they were like showing the one that was like really jacked up and he had like kind of little legs. It was really weird.
Yeah.
They showed him in like a soccer outfit and just like different stuff like that. But remember, like there was no women in there. There was just like different versions of Loki. So maybe she's not Loki. Like they were trying to like drop that little subtlety in there that like it's Loki can obviously we know that he's gender fluid, so like he can possibly be a woman, but maybe it's in a different context, I guess you could say.
Who, Tylene, please help me make some sense of this.
She's a variant, which means that she's outside of the sacred timeline.
Right.
The reason that they didn't have a picture of her, and also Loki wasn't aware of her, is because had they had that information, then they would have been able to locate her throughout the timeline. The thing that's been so difficult to find her and locate her is the fact that, as we find out later in the episode, that she's hiding in places, and she's basically hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is the way that the timekeepers, I guess, keep records of these catastrophic events is that once they know that it's going to be a catastrophic event, it's almost like they just stop investigating it or stop monitoring it.
Right.
And so whatever happens over there is already expected to happen. So they haven't been monitoring it, and that's kind of what Loki found out after doing his research in the library. So that kind of the fact of the matter is nobody knew who the culprit was until she just revealed herself to Loki. So all of this stuff is operating outside of the sacred timeline, and as we saw later, which I won't spoil that yet. We'll probably get to that point. But as you saw, she had another agenda.
I have something. Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was going to say I think one of the things that has been kind of hiding in the background of the show is this idea that the sacred timeline is actually the only timeline, and that the timekeepers had this kind of mystic power to do this. I think what I'm starting to think is that the TVA is sort of just is more of a propaganda based institution where their job is not necessarily to keep one timeline as the only timeline, but they're trying to keep other timelines from interfering, and that there are actually multiple timelines that are just that just exist because that's the way it happens. And so I think what we're seeing is the result of that. Is somebody like Enchantress or Lady Loki or Loki himself, whoever is basically bent on just saying, hey, these people do not have nearly the power they think they do. It's very possible the timekeepers don't even exist at all, and this is just all a bunch of BS. I started thinking about it when Loki and Mobius were sitting there having their conversation at that table, and they were talking about, he was talking about his beliefs and that he, believes that timekeepers exist, and he believes that they all meet at the end of the tunnel in peace. And I was like, oh, this sounds very much like a faith-based organization. Yeah. And because of that, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, and we have to take on faith. And that leaves open a lot of interesting possibilities.
That is a good point. That is a good point. And that kind of brings me to, man, I wish I knew her name, but who is it that could somebody give me some info on this young lady?
From Utopia, is she the one from Utopia?
Yeah. The young black girl who's over Owen Wilson's character, who he speaks to.
Her. Yeah,
who he speaks to at length about the time variance, about the whole notion of the time of this world that they live in, about believing in the higher, the whole of which Tyrone is speaking about, how the time keepers are kind of looked at as a deity, as opposed to like folks who are out here doing things just to keep things afloat. They're more like folks that we need to worship, because he said something that was real it was real mind boggling. He's like, well, why do we have to fix something if they already know how it's going to end, you know, like is there really, you know what I'm saying? Like it starts to become a paradox, you know. And then they even asked, like, at one point, I think it was like, well, it's the whole grandfather and the grandfather syndrome. You know, you go back in time and kill your granddad, then how were you ever alive to kill your granddad in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they really manage this stuff? And who are the timekeepers? Now, as far as I'm concerned, these timekeepers are a bunch of assholes that are sitting up playing dominoes somewhere, playing around with people's timelines like it ain't no big deal, switching moms with popses, switching pops with moms, making Loki a lady, making lady. Like, I don't know what the hell they got going on. But when they did ultimately smash all of the timelines together, I think that's when the multiverse became the multiverse, right? Because you got all these different variants on one timeline. So that's why we see Loki and Chick in the same John. What's up?
Well, as we've been saying, you know, from the beginning of this MCU launch, all of these movies tie in together. All of these series tie in together, and kind of feed into the next movie that's coming out and everything like that. The fact that she blew up this singular timeline created a multiverse, where now you have different, you have now the verses that were all located in one thing branched off in different places. One of the things that when you saw her, you know, set the explosion, and you know the result that happened after she set the explosion, if you looked on that actual meter that contained the sacred timeline and then showed the branches, at the top of the meter had locations. There was locations on the top. I think one said like Jotunheim, where Loki was from. Another one said something else, and but it was like 3 or 4 different locations that when they branched up into these other, you know, universes or previous universes. So because Tyrone mentioned earlier that he didn't think that and correct me if I'm wrong, Tyrone, but he didn't think that these were a whole bunch of multiverses. Was it something like that you said?
Yeah, I don't think that it's that only one timeline exists. I think it's more that they're trying to just keep that timeline exclusive, or just keep it out of the reach of other timelines. That's what I think the TVA is actually accomplishing, or trying to accomplish.
Well, from the first episode, what they stated in the first episode was basically that the events that happened with Thanos was the reason why they, you know, I guess decided that they were going to combine all of these other worlds into one singular universe so that it was easier to control. And then the fact of the matter is what's going on is we see this female version of whoever she is, but we see her trying to break down the construct that is the TVA, who again I do not think are the good guys. I mean they kill people and disintegrate people too easily.
Oh my god!
Like they go everywhere. It'd be like they popped into that world. And literally the old girl was like, y'all are out of costume, you're gonna make me lose. And she shrugged her off like, you won't be here in 5 minutes anyway, so you don't need to worry about that show. That's gonna be your last show. You don't even gotta worry about getting paid. You're not gonna make it to that part. So
wow.
So I'm seeing that they're just doing that. They're so like hell-bent on just erasing you that it's like it literally, they don't bat an eye with it. Like and that tells me that they've been doing it for a very long time and consistently. So
it's institutionalized almost, right? Like you don't there was almost like a desensitization of this dude's life. I still am not of the belief that he was disintegrated. I mean, I know that that's what they keep saying. I know even Loki says that, and you know they've used that to kind of, you know, keep him in shape. But I don't know, man. It's something weird. Like that kind of is weird. Like, what's the if you're from the time, you know, warrior, the time
time variance,
and your job is to keep things according to the time. You can't just go killing people from the time. You know, like it you know, I don't think that makes much sense.
I mean, it does if your whole ideology is to be narcissistic and control everything,
right.
By any means. So, and when you're in that, when you're like, you got to understand, these beings, these time variant beings, we don't like they. As far as we know, they're celestial. We don't know. We until they make a guest appearance, we have to assume that they're celestial, and because the power that it would take to do what they're doing, and to have we just saw the Infinity Stones used as paperweights, bro. Like you cannot just keep like discounting the stuff that we're seeing. These individuals, and even if it's not them, whoever is responsible for what's going on at this location is more powerful than anyone we've seen thus far in the MCU yet. So that's the point that we really got to focus on, as far as like when you killing people and erasing people at the level and the magnitude that they're doing. It's hard for me to just jump on your side and say you're the good guys.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, especially just because everything that they do when they're disintegrating people, resetting people, it's without question. It's according to what they've been told they're created for and stuff, which is a very dogmatic approach to something, especially when you're just like completely erasing people from existence. Right. And there's a point that I think is going to be a real like kind of a turning point. It was when they found that hostage, the hostage hunter, and she said that she gave them the location of where the timekeepers are. And so it very well may be that in this third episode, we get the question answered. Are there timekeepers? Who are they? What are they about? Like, because it sounds like Lady Loki, Enchantress, whoever she is, really is about to go straight to the top. She's about to go speak to the manager. And I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think this is where, whether it's one timeline breaking down or just everybody becoming aware of multiple timelines, this is where the madness starts.
Yo, well, now one thing that's different about this show, y'all, is that unlike WandaVision, unlike Falcon and Winter Soldier, this is on Wednesday. So it's not as fresh. I tried to watch it again to keep up. But something you just said, Tyrone, made me realize I hadn't. What, a hostage? Did you say there was a hostage?
Yeah, when they were in the rocks cart, she was the one that was kind of in that room, and she was rocking back and forth like she had been traumatized.
Oh yes,
yes. And she took
that's the girl from Utopia. That's the girl.
The girl from Utopia. Yeah,
her name is, let's see.
On the show, her name is Sasha. I mean, it's a Hunter
C20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Her name is Sasha Lane.
I did notice that she's in this series quite a bit, low key.
Yeah, she has a
pun
large
intended.
role. She has a large role.
So I'm a little intrigued as to what her real role is. Because before she was in that state where she was kind of like, oh, we got to fix it, we got to whatever it was. She was early. She appeared earlier in the episode, right? Wasn't she? She was
at the Renaissance Fair. She was she was the commander of the team that went into that Renaissance Fair.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah, that's what.
Into the tent. She was the one that led them into the tent.
Yeah.
So
and then she she took control over her, and she basically killed her entire fucking platoon, and then basically like passed out. And then Lady Loki killed the last guy, and then took her body with her. So like at first, it felt like she was just being used, right? Because that's that thing that Lady Loki did. She was doing it. I mean, she's not really, this is one thing that folks didn't really pay attention to. Loki is. He gave us the definition. He gave us the definition between shape-shifting, right? And what did he say? Duplicating, right?
Yeah. Illusion, like, projection,
and this Enchantress, whoever we want to call her, this young lady right here,
I think she's Loki.
who's basically taking all the attention from Loki right now because she's a better version, which is how he entices her, how he entices Loki to want to look out and find her. He's given he's challenging him to try to beat himself, which I think is hilarious. If you think about it, like the way that you get somebody to sign on to catching himself is by convincing him that he's a better version of you, and you can't do it. So I'm challenging you to see if you was just as good or not as good as your own self. And so now we're learning about shapeshifting. We noticed that she did not shapeshift, at least as far as we know. She's more of a body snatcher. She's more of a duplicate. She's less of a shapeshifter, but Loki still has his magic. You see how he just kind of, made himself dry. He's like, oh, I'm just using my magic. He could still do that, but she doesn't. So that's more indicative of the fact that the possibility that she's not Lady Loki, right, Tyrone? Talene, my bad.
Well, no, because they actually spoke to that when they were showing him the different Lokis. What they said basically is that each Loki can possess different powers than the other Loki. So the fact that she can do something, which I'm not going to say that he can't do, because I do believe I do. Yeah, I was about to say I do believe that Loki did that to Hulk. No,
he did it with Hawkeye and Dr. Selvig.
And
many Shield agents actually. He had a whole army because of that.
Now, don't get me wrong. Now, look, Loki has, yes, we know Loki has, but this Lady Loki that's here on the screen, this young lady right here,
yes.
When she was taking over people, she was basically touching them. You know what I'm saying? And then inhabiting their bodies, and then they would fall, they would pass out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she wasn't doing that thing where she was becoming that person, and then they could turn around and look themselves in the eye and then knock them out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like she's embodying the person, taking their whole body over, not making themselves look like them. Is what I was trying to say.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, am I wrong with that? When I see that, I'm saying to myself, well, why would you have to do that? If you're Loki, you just change yourself into that person. You don't have to. You don't need to touch them.
Remember. So if we go back to literally where you're at, like in the Avengers, like the scene that's behind you right now. If we go back to that scene, you got to remember Hawkeye gets taken over, and he helps set up the Tesseract. Like on top of the Avengers building with the old guy. I can't remember the old guy's name.
Dr. Selvig.
Okay, there you go. And they set all that up, but he literally like took over him. And remember, Natasha was the one who kind of knocked him out, and then they locked him up and they made sure that he was still like good and it wasn't and then he explained what it was like to be controlled by him. Remember? He like went into deep and he was like it was I can't remember exactly what he said, but he like went into like deep like how he felt being under control of Loki and what it felt like to like basically
yeah.
So and then that's when she was just like holy shit, and then like he had a big grudge against him after, and he was like going after him because he took control over him. So
and we really ordeal. Oh, go ahead, yes.
No, I'm done. It was a whole ordeal, though. Like, for real, if you want, go back and watch that scene, and it was a whole ordeal.
And what I was gonna say is right now, it's very premature for us to actually say what she can and cannot do, because she may or may not have had to do anything else other than what she's done. We could see later on that she does possess some other type of powers or something, or is able to do something else. At this point right now, we've already had what's his name? The agent. What's Mobius. We've already had Mobius explain that each of these different Lokis are going to possess different powers than the Loki that they have presently. So it isn't like out of the realm of possibilities that we'll see other Lokis with different powers and abilities.
Well, but okay, all right. So is it possible that somewhere there's a Loki who got no powers? You know what I'm saying? Or is it possible that there's a Loki who's a supreme overlord who's got all the powers? You know what I mean? Like where's the range here? Like I'm trying to figure out like and why are these Lokis having these different powers? Like what the fuck? What's going on with that?
So you got to remember, Loki can create life
Yeah, okay.
So she is like her character in the comic book, Sylvie, is a creation. He's like Loki's daughter. He's a creation of her. She's a creation of like she's like creation of chaos, basically. That's why he created her. Like in the comic book, it's she's like a young blonde character. Her name is Sylvie, and she's also known as the Enchantress, and she was created by Loki to be an agent of chaos. So she's technically not Loki. She's like a daughter of Loki. So that's why when they were like talking to each other, you know, she was like, you know, and they were going back and forth where, oh, you're the better version of me. You know what I'm saying? Like they're bantering. He was like, it's nice to meet me. And she goes, no, I'm the better version of me. And he just like smiled and she smiled and it was like super creepy.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. Look, I'm all for where Loki's going. I have to say, guys, and I feel bad saying it, but it is the truth. This show is not at this point. As of this point, I'm starting to put Falcon and Winter Soldier on the top of this Mount Rushmore of Disney Marvel shows, because this one right now I put between Wanda and Falcon, because Falcon, we had the usual Disney elements, right? We had we were able to speculate, we were able to sit and, you know, we saw the action and all that. Right here, I don't know, man. It's something missing for me about this show. I mean, I can say that now without D. Russo here.
This was actually your same complaint for Falcon. Like, just to remind you, because I love it when you do this.
What?
The first episode you had, hold up. The first episode you had hella energy. The second episode you was like, guys, I don't know, man, but it's starting to feel just like what I said it was, and I'm not really feeling it.
First of all, I don't sound like that. All right. The whole way. Guys, you know, come on, man. It's got me sound like an 11-year-old YouTuber who opens gifts.
That was you. Like, that was you, though. That was you. That was you definitely having the same energy you have right now.
Okay.
It's a drama, and I think I said this last week. This is not an action, the action thing. So, like, to have an expectation for action is always going to disappoint you if this is a drama. This is exactly what that is. This is a detailed, like, long. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree that this episode fell short. I will give it. I will say that much. As far as the series as a whole, after 2 episodes and the first episode was dope, I'm not ready to, you know, abandon ship, but I did fall asleep on this episode 2 or 3 times before I finally was able to finish it. I'm not, no joke. I did, and I did it at different times to make sure. So
you guys have to remember, though, okay, like WandaVision, you know, like you guys are both hating on WandaVision, and everyone
that was totally different. Yes, that shit was black and white.
I'm just saying, just let me finish. You were hating on it, okay? You were hating on it though, and then like towards the end, you were like, okay, it wasn't bad, you know. That's but true. You got to remember, all of these are setting each other up for the next thing to come. So when the next movies come out, like Doctor Strange, this is what this is going to set us up for. We didn't know the TVA. We didn't know anything about the TVA. This is setting us up for that. So that way, when we see it in the multiverse, you know what I'm saying, it'll be more relevant and we'll understand that shit. And I'm sure Spider-Man is going to go into that also. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure the TVA is going to probably be in there. And like I said, they're going to cut out Andrew Garfield's complete movie.
Oh, man.
They you know, they erased and they reset him on that. So I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, I feel like you guys just have to be patient. There's 6 episodes, so we have to set a tone. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just getting there. It's the 2nd episode. Be patient.
So is it action that's missing for you, Vince, or is it something else that you can't quite define?
You know what? I'm not as you know, I don't have to have nonstop action, although it doesn't hurt when it comes to my preference. But if I don't have action, I at least need something else to take its place. I need suspense, thrill. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of what the fuck is going on in this. You know what I mean? And with that, I just find myself like, what's really, what am I looking for? Like, once they revealed, like, you know, the Enchantress or whomever it was like, all right, now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was, I don't really have like we now we get to see how what powerful she is or isn't, or how she was developed. I assume in Disney, in true Marvel form, in one of these upcoming episodes, we're going to get a backstory about who she is, where she's from, what she's doing, who, you know, whatever all that is, which is dope. But as of this moment, I mean, I guess if this is a 9-episode series, then I'm cool. If it's 6, then we're moving hella slow. We've lost 2. I won't say we lost. We've had 2 episodes now in which we basically have just now and uncovered the antagonist. We don't know exactly what Loki's role is. That's one thing that I could say is being done very well. Is keeping us in suspense with regard to who Loki really is in support of. I can't really tell right now at the very end if he's going to turn around and join forces with Chick, you know, or if he's going to blow everything up, or if he's going to do everything for himself. What's up, Ty?
Yo, I got something to say to that. When he had that conversation with Mobius, one of the things that he said that really resonated to me and really tells the exact story of what they're trying to do with Loki. Loki said, anything that is bad or something like that, bad is bad, or something like that.
Nobody who's bad is entirely bad.
Yeah, nobody who's entirely bad is entirely bad. Nothing that is entirely good is good. And so that right there to me tells the story of where they're trying to go with it. I said this before. Marvel is trying to make us really well. We already love Loki. But the fact of the matter is they like it's true. We love Loki. And Marvel knows that as fans, we love Loki. So they're not totally committed to Loki being just the super villain. They're not totally right. You can tell they're not totally committed to it. And ultimately, he's playing into that role superbly, because we saw him follow Loki, follow the Enchantress or Lady Loki or whoever she may be. We saw him follow her. Now, if you watch the entire episode, you'll probably be like, "Oh, I should have known. Here's Loki up to his no good stuff again." But then you start thinking about all the conversations he's had, and it makes you think that this is another scheme to derail her so that he can wind up on top in order to get what he wants. But ultimately, undermining the TVA might not be a bad thing to do. So it makes him appear as the hero again. You know what I'm saying? If that is his idea or his ultimate goal.
When he said very clearly, when she said, "Oh, you work for the TVA now," he said, "I work for me," and that's always been Loki's MO. You know, he's always trying to figure out a way to get on top, a way to be the most powerful and stuff. So this is just Loki being Loki.
Yeah, well, he says he works for him, but at the same time, he can't do anything without being rewounded. Like he's got like a time loop leash. If he goes too far out of bounds, they reset his ass, and he ends up, like four, steps ahead of back to where he was.
Or delete him, Vince. Or just delete him. Or just
he can get it back, eviscerated.
Said that shit jokingly. He was like, if he gets out of line, I'll delete him. You're excited to disintegrate him, huh?
He's a button away, a click away from being just completely, So I think that as the drip is real, they're definitely dripping, and kind of keeping us on that what's gonna happen next week? You know what I'm saying? Type of ordeal, because we really don't know. I'm interested in seeing what happens with Loki. I honestly feel like we still don't know enough about this to really know who's the real villain. I believe in what Ty is saying, Ty Lean, that ultimately when we come down to it at the end of the day, that we're going to learn that the time keepers are ultimately the biggest villains. Honestly, I believe that that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to end up learning that these folks right here, or whoever they are, or whatever they represent, this whole notion of a timeline is going to be one of those, how dare you try to, manage human life. We're all free will, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to learn that one of these folks is probably tied to somebody else in a different story, like in the multiverse with Doctor Strange. And then Doctor Strange is going to end up having to come through with Wanda and kill everybody with this. I think that's where we're going. That's where we're going with this right now. And I'm not even mad at it if that ends up being the case. It's just that the fact that we're still speculating is maybe that's my problem. Maybe
so my biggest question is, are they really lizard people?
I think that line is a kind of a little bit of a nod to just the idea of conspiracy theories, because we always talk about like the lizard people that run the government and stuff like that, as a conspiracy theory.
Gotcha.
I think that's sort of Loki just being a smart ass anytime he says that, being like, hey, I don't believe this. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He's not buying it. You know what I mean? And even when it comes to, Loki, being just a second away from being deleted or erased from the timeline, I don't know if that's still the case. They were only able to catch him off guard when he didn't know they existed.
Right.
But now that he knows that they exist, now that he knows what they can do, what they can't do, also that they have problems with people if you have any kind of advanced intelligence or powers or whatever, I don't think that he sees them as the power they consider themselves to be. So, he's constantly learning and adapting now that he knows they exist. Now that he knows that where they can and can't go, what they can and can't do. I don't think he's afraid of the TVA anymore. That's why he bounced.
Yep.
When you say he caught him off guard, how did he catch him off guard?
They caught him off guard when they caught him the first time. Like when he just ended up when he took the Tesseract and ended up in Mongolia, and then they caught him. Like he didn't know they existed. So they caught him off guard. That was me not being clear. But yeah, they caught him off guard.
Oh, okay, now he knows that he can hide and like there's so many timelines that he can hide in. You know what I'm saying? Like then they're fucked.
Yeah, he right now he has the upper hand.
Yeah.
Like Loki and his new friend have the upper hand against the TVA right now.
Yeah.
So is this one of those things where like by bringing him into this timeline, by showing him, by now introducing him to all these concepts, they've basically destroyed themselves? Because if you think about it, like it was through this last episode that Loki figured out the apocalypse paradox, that you could basically fuck up everything, and as long as it happens right before everybody's fucked up. Like, he's like, look now, Loki, when you get up in here, don't put the timeline, okay? Don't. He's like, you're all gonna die. Move.
Yeah, that was a great scene. I love that scene.
Brothers.
And also, how cringeworthy was that whole analogy sequence where he's like, okay, you've got a salad, right? And then you've got.
I thought that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Milk. What was it? Milk.
He went and grabbed stuff. Yeah.
He's like,
he was just trolling.
You got Owen just like, man, you're just fucking my salad up.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. No, please stop. No.
Yeah, he was trolling dude the whole time.
He's like, nah. I don't think it's enough yet. Like, come on.
And then he was like, okay, that wasn't a good explanation. Let me explain it like this.
Yeah. just to mess with him. And he's the whole Loki's slick like that. Loki's constantly messing with people. Like when he was having that jet ski conversation with Owen Wilson with Mobius.
Oh yeah.
He's sitting there getting intel, man. Like he's going to figure out. I think that he looks at Mobius as a useful idiot is what, when you're trying to control people, and he's using Mobius's kind of very naive approach to things of like, yeah, this is just the way it is, and this is what I got to do, and then when it's done, everything's great.
I think he's gonna get him a jet ski.
I think Tyrone is completely wrong. I think that they both have a genuine like they both like each other. They genuinely like each other.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be either or.
But I think that scene about the jet ski, I think before this series is over, and we can check me on this or not, but before the series is over, Loki is gonna somehow provide a jet ski for Mobius to ride. Because that was the question that he asked him. Yeah. Have you ever ridden one? He was like, nah, I work too much. I'm here. I don't, I'm not doing that.
He can't.
Yeah. You can't. So when he shatters whatever that is going on over here with these timekeepers that are, determining who gets vaporized or not, you know what I'm saying? Then I think again, we'll leave this whole series like, I love to hate Loki, but I love him. Like I hate to love him. You know what I mean? Like, but that's kind of where I think we're gonna go with.
And I do agree to a certain extent. I don't think it has to be that Loki's playing him and he because of that he hates him. I think he genuinely does like him and like hanging out with him. He probably finds him pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But at the end, I do think I think Yaz is right. I think y'all are right that we might see Mobius get a little gift, maybe a little Sea-Doo gift or something like that.
So we'll see him ride off into the sunset.
It's like that thing when there's like this back and forth between a movie, and then like at the end there's like there's like a little gift left or a little nod where the the hero, quote unquote, gets that thing, and he just has that look like, you son of a bitch, you know what I mean? So we're probably heading towards that, which I think would be amazing. But it's Loki's being super slick. I love the way he's playing this. I can't wait to see. Now that Mobius probably feels betrayed by Loki because he's been sticking his neck out for him. Are we going to get an angrier Mobius who's like really just out to delete him? Because he was like, if he messes up, I'll delete him myself. So is he going to be true to his word? Is he going to come at Loki like, now they're enemies? It'll be interesting to see. I
think he expected it. He's been well, that's one thing I'll say about Mobius. He's been pretty sharp. Like he has been pretty sharp about things and just how to play Loki and knows his nature. Like it was so funny how he said to him, like when they was walking down the hall, he was like, oh, well, how would you get in front of the time? He was like, oh, that's on the table. He was like, he was like, keep that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like he knows exactly what to say, what to do. And I think he knew, like he's known the whole time that this guy, it's his nature to backstab. So right. I think he knew that, and knowing that, he knew that he was going to have this like make contact with this other version of Loki. But what he's betting on is what he said when he walked out of the office. Boy, this guy's arrogant. Remember that? Like that arrogance is what's gonna not allow Loki to work with the other Loki too long. He's gonna wind up undermining him just because he wants to be the one to do whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Yeah,
it's like,
but let's not forget, like it was like you say that he's smart. I think it's even further than that. I think that there's a possibility that they may have some sort of way to veer into this timeline's future. Like, remember when Loki was like, he's like, oh, so I get to, well, I'll have you know, because he was trying to challenge him, like, oh, well, you just hate to admit the fact that this Loki is better than you. He's like, well, I have my own agenda. I'll have you know that I'm doing a whole secret thing myself. And he's like, oh, what? Like, get to the timekeepers and then, exploit the timekeepers and then, and then try to take over the whole time variant by yourself. And then Loki was like, he's like, oh yeah, we haven't thought of that. Yeah. Oh wow, the world's biggest mischievous liar deceives everybody. Oh wow, big surprise there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like Loki himself is still playing Loki from Asgard, and Owen Wilson's character is just like so far past that. Like, bro, we know you better than you almost know yourself, almost to the point where we've known multiple yous. You're the same you. Just right now, we've got a you that's like outsmarting us, and we need you to help us. So I don't know. I feel like there's definitely space here for Loki to still be the villain, to still end up being the one that we root for, even though he's not a hero. But I also think that there's some team up appeal. I think that we might be looking at the beginning of some sort of time variant alliance here in all three of these Lokis. I love the fact also, by the way, that there's so much diversity in this, in that they've got these women in charge played by these strong Black women. Shout out to Juneteenth. And I'm feeling the way that Marvel always tends to keep these folks afloat, even with the young lady right here, who I'm assuming is probably going to have a greater role, because I think we've seen more of her than we would see if she wasn't of significance at all. So I don't really know, man. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I don't like Loki. I mean, I'm enjoying the show. I do look forward to it the same way I look forward to the other shows. I do think that that we did miss on. We didn't talk about
Miss Minutes.
Which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, did you catch that part? Did you?
Yeah, when he was trying to smack the shit out of her and he was playing with her and she's like, "You're rude."
Did you know who played the? You know who did the voiceover for that?
No.
Yo, that's Tara Strong. Tara Strong from I think she also played, I think, Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents and oh
my god, no like freaking way.
Yeah like she's My Little Pony, like she's it's so stunning because she's an attractive lady. She's like, I think she's in her
she played Bubbles 50s. Too.
But yeah, she plays
she's in her 50s.
Yeah, Tara Strong is not a spring chicken. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to, call her out like that, but
she look great. If she looks great for 50.
Yeah, very accomplished and sought after voice actor.
Okay, let me. I'm so sorry, Tara Strong, for saying that. She's 48. She will be 50.
She looks good. She looks good.
But yeah, she holds that down, man. One of our favorite.
Hi, Marvin. Thanks for tuning in. Marvin. Oh, and by the way, Ragnarok was okay. It wasn't fire. Okay.
Oh, did you wait a minute?
Finally finished.
Did you?
I did finish it. You want to talk about
I wasn't able to finish the episode last week. And did you?
No, we didn't talk about it. No, I had to go because I was keeping the baby up and she was getting pissed.
So you didn't the bitch of the week.
No, I didn't get to.
So we can do it this week. We can't.
Yeah, we totally can.
Okay,
so
all right.
You gotta go, but tune in later for this, because it's gonna be great.
Okay.
All right. So on that note, I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna transition to Ragnarok. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It was pretty cool in the history part of it. I did like that. I thought that was pretty cool. There was a lot of interesting things. Let me tell you, my mouth was kind of more dropped than anything.
Really?
The storyline was very boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like this halfway through it, like making sure I was watching at points because I was like, what the fuck? And then can we just talk about, I'm just going to jump like straight to the end really quickly. That motherfucker birthed a tapeworm.
Yeah.
Disgusting. And then he was kissing it and shit. Like, what the fuck? The thing looked like a dick. Okay, like a dick with little tentacles and shit. It was fucking disgusting. Okay, it was, I just couldn't. Why they end it like that? I have no idea.
Well, spoiler alert.
Whoever hasn't seen it, that's the ending. Let me just go back to the beginning now, okay? I did like how, the character development, like it started out a little slow and then got a little bit more, like it picked up a little bit. I thought it was kind of fucked up that, his best friend, like she was murdered and no one believed him.
Right.
For like a whole season. And then people were like, oh, maybe she did, she did get murdered. Oh, man, how did she die? Like she's really like, she's a good parasailor. Like it was just that part was kind of dumb as fuck. But I definitely thought it was interesting how Fjord, is that his name? The popular
the brother.
I don't know what the fuck relationship him and his sister had, but I felt kind of Games of Thrones-y. I was like literally waiting for them to like start kissing or something. I was like, oh god, please don't. And then they didn't. I was very happy about that.
Wait, hold on. Let me stop you for a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Are you on season 1? Or
I watched everything. We're starting from the beginning now. Okay.
Okay.
We're starting. I went back. Okay. It doesn't matter if they're not related, bro. They kind of look alike. It's crazy. I don't know, fuck. Okay. All right. Another thing was I didn't appreciate how like I wanted to see the giant part of them. Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? All you have to see is their eyes all creeping. Like, what the fuck did they do? They're superhuman. They're strong. Like, that's it. Like you know what I'm saying?
They can't die. They can't die either.
They can die.
No, not by mortal weapons.
Right.
But by their Norseman weapons and shit. The ones like by the little elves made and stuff like that. I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I wanted to see the actual giant part of them, not these little ass fucking kids all like with their eyes and shit, And then the mom, she's like having sex with the teenagers because she can't have a baby. Like, I don't know. That shit is just like, it was really weird. That's all I got to say about that. The story was a little weird for me. And I thought like the mom, how she just ate her feelings away forever, you know, and then finally was like, I'm going to stop doing this and throw all the candy away. Like, it was just really, really cliche, I guess you could say. It wasn't anything that I was like really excited about. I was just like, can I get through this so I can talk about this? But my bitch of the week on the show will have to be Loki.
Sure.
Will have to be Loki, because I didn't like how they portrayed Loki's character as like being very like, I need love, I want, you know what I'm saying, because he saw everybody like doing their own thing and their own couple you know what I'm saying, like, and he was like upset with the guy at the clerk store because like he was hitting on him, but like, you know what I'm saying, and he wasn't, and it was I don't know. That was my bitch of the week, was Loki, because I didn't like how they portrayed his character. I mean, Loki is he's stronger than that. You know what I'm saying? He's arrogant, he's self-centered. I get they portrayed some of that, but I didn't like how just, I guess, emotional they made that character. And then the whole kissing the fucking the tapeworm thing, like that shit. No lie, I almost threw up when I watched that because I was so grossed out by it.
Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
Yes, I get your feelings, but I want you to take a moment just listen to what I got to say.
All right.
So the Loki that you're referring to, that you have these problems with, is because you are comparing the MCU version of Loki to the Norse mythology version of Loki. Now, in the Norse mythology realm of Loki was exactly what they portray him to be on camera. He's always been a bastard in a sense, so he's always been looking for a family to call his own. In Norse mythology, he was like a unisex type god, or what's the terminology on Tyrone? Because I know you know. What's it called?
Non-binary,
gender fluid, non-binary.
All right, gender fluid.
Why does Tyrone know?
I know you know Tyrone.
Well, no, I mean that because Tyrone is a staunch supporter of the LGBTQ. It's just the truth.
I'm an ally. I'll be knowing shit.
Yeah, so I like when I need to know, terminology, I go to the source where I know I get it. But anyway,
but it did come out weird though. Like, yo, he's a non. What is it, Tyrone? I know you know.
It did come out a little weird.
I guess. But yeah. So yeah, this version of Loki is emulating the historical version, not the fantastical version that the MCU has created.
Right.
The kid who plays Loki does an excellent job, because
I think so too.
Because one of the things that makes him so good is that he knows how to play on your heartstrings. He also knows how to manipulate you into doing what he wants you to do. And you've seen his transformation from this appearing to be popular kid to finding out that he has a father and all of it, and now you see the vulnerable version of himself. You see him get discarded, get almost killed by his biological father, being betrayed by his brother. There's so many different things that you see with this kid, and then ultimately where you culminated at was him putting what is called, I believe, the World Destroyer, because that's what that is.
I know it's a serpent. I know that, but it's just ew.
It's a little more than a serpent, but this thing in Norse mythology, that thing kills Thor.
Yeah, I know.
And so there's a lot of importance, but again, I just want, if you look at it from that viewpoint, as far as not comparing it to the MCU and looking at it more from a standpoint of mythological and historical and in ways, I guess, if you believe it to be true. But that's kind of where they represented the Thor and Loki and in this Ragnarok
else.
Okay.
And we've also
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tyrone.
I want to just add a little bit to that. We've had several Loki, interactions in the Marvel and MCU, but the first couple were all like, "Daddy didn't love me. I'm jealous of my brother. I should have been king." So like even in the MCU, that was kind of Loki's thing for a while. That he was just kind of pissed off at everybody and just thought that he was being overlooked and that he wasn't getting enough attention and all that kind of stuff. So it's not it's not out of the realm of what we're used to even. It's a different vibe, obviously, because they're teenagers and there's all the stuff that goes around it. I'm not over here trying to defend Ragnarok. It wasn't like the best show in the world, but
all right.
Yeah.
I love how you just stopped. He's like, it wasn't the best show in the world.
Well, it's like at that moment, like this Loritz, like Chris Angel, mind freak, a street magician picture popped up and started looking me in my soul, and I was like, no, don't do that.
And also, I thought it was interesting. Like I said, Tyrone. Tyleem, I liked the history part of it. That wasn't the part that I didn't like. I just didn't like, I guess, the story. I just didn't like it. Like, it was just, I don't know. It just could have been better to me, I guess you could say. Like, Netflix has a lot of originals, and that was kind of a lacking one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, yes. I'm gonna say straight up.
And then my mom watched it, and she hit me up, like, because we were talking about it, and she watched the whole thing, and she hit me up, and she was like, that was trash. And then Austin was like, the guys are slacking with the comment, like, with the recommendations for you right now. And I was like, listen, just because Ragnarok was bad, they liked the history behind it. The history was good. He was like, but the show was, I didn't even watch the show and it was trash. And I was like, you didn't watch it because the mouse didn't match up. And he was just like, so what? And then wait a minute. Then you know what this guy had me watching last night, that he ended up falling asleep at the very end of the damn movie? Rurouni Kenshin is on.
I watched it.
Bro, it was so boring. I was like, can this movie end? Like, what the fuck?
What? So
I don't know the history behind that specific anime. I have to like go and learn about it, because he told me before we watched it that I'm have to. But none of the mouths matched up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the fucking subtitles didn't even match up with what the fuck they were saying. And I'm over here looking at him like, and this is the motherfucker that wouldn't watch Ragnarok because the mouths didn't match up. And I'm like, this was way like better on this than it was watching that. Like, for real.
Well, I would actually disagree. I watched it myself, and as far as what you're saying, as far as everything lining up, I typically expect that coming from a martial arts movie. Like, that's almost like if I don't get that in a martial arts movie, then I'm disappointed, to be honest with you.
Like, the subtitles didn't even, like, it was like watching, when you watch Spanish subtitles and it's backwards. Well, the English is backwards, you know what I'm saying? Because some of the contents of the words, it was like that, but like some of the words were like, it would only use like certain. I'm just saying, rewatch it if you can, and watch just the subtitles and listen to it, and you're like, that shit.
No, that's what I was trying to say. Like, that when you're watching a martial arts movie, you're not watching a martial arts movie for the acting. Let's just be clear. You're watching it for the fighting.
Now, for sure, the action was on point.
That's like, what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm like,
yo, that shit was on and popping. Like, that shit was like so fucking dope. I'm just saying, the story, it was just so long.
Yeah, like,
they could have fit all the action, into an hour, and that would have been fine for me.
Okay, yes, I feel like this is an intervention moment. So we're gonna go ahead and do this intervention really quick. When you're watching martial arts movies, when there's like, I don't want to say anything crazy, but when it's like definitely an Asian based martial arts movie, which I feel like that's pretty much the criteria for a martial arts movie. But when you have those movies, we are not here to find out about your love affairs, to find out we don't care.
I get that.
We are here for the action. If the action is on point, the movie is fire. Period.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Like,
can we stop you there though? Okay. In the middle of the action, how did the dude that was kicking the guys like? Okay, I know you guys haven't really seen it, but this is just spoiler alert. At me talking to Ty. Sorry, I have to have this argument at the end of the fucking movie when they were fighting. Because I finished watching it, of course, because I had to see this shit.
Mhm.
All right. At the end of the movie, when the dude with the fucking white hair, I don't even know why his hair turned white in that many years. I was like, damn, when you age, your hair turns white.
that is also another aspect of martial arts movies. There's always going to be a white-haired person in
I'm
the
just
movie.
saying, I get it, but like, why did the dude have to have an Asian mullet? That's the whole other dude had the Hironi, whatever his name is, Kenshin. He had a fucking Asian mullet, dog, like legit. Okay, it was just weird to look at.
Okay, what about the fight scenes? Yeah.
All right, so the end fight scene, how did the dude beating his ass, like the bad guy with the white hair? He was beating his ass and like he was all amped up and shit, and then out of nowhere, this dude just like accidentally cuts him. He literally had the fucking sword in his armpit and didn't even cut him, okay? And then all of a sudden he like kicks him, does him, and the dude's like, you got me. And then he like starts getting his ass kicked. How does this happen?
That is typically what happens in martial art movies. Like at some point you use your special ability or whatever it is that you have that you haven't used. You tap into your ancestors, whatever the case may be. But the fight scenes, like, okay, for everybody out there who has not seen this, I'm not gonna do too much of a spoiler. But what I will say is there were scenes in this, and Yaz can attest to this. There were scenes where the guy she's referring to, Kenshin, he was fighting like 150 dudes at once.
He was by himself. That was
by himself.
That was dope.
And causing wreck. So like you got to see that the fight scenes are exquisite. The fight scene that she's talking about between him and the white-haired guy, that is epic. They fight all throughout the house and outside and all. Yo, like this is, listen, if you want to see a dope action movie, watch Rurouni
Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, it just came out.
Netflix just came out. Dope. Don't
watch the story, but watch the action, okay? And don't watch the subtitles because they don't match up with what the English words say. So you're gonna get all confused. And I'm one of those people that watches and I read the subtitles as I'm watching. You know, I multitask, and yeah, that shit was fucking me up. I was like, I can't watch this shit. So then I came back, and they were like fighting. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is some shit. It's live action. It's a live action anime, technically. It's fucking dope. You got to see it. It just released yesterday on Netflix. It's 2 hours long. It's pretty fire. That he's right. The action was on point. I was definitely like checking in for the action. Every time there was action, I was watching.
Yeah,
it was dope as fuck. I just don't like how like the dude was like manhandling him all over the place, and then out of nowhere he beats him. That just got me. I was upset about that because I was rooting for the bad guy at one point because I was like he was murking. But
he wasn't really a bad guy, though. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna tell the whole movie.
I know we're not. I'm just saying.
Look,
we'll have this conversation after y'all watch it.
First of all, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I'm completely. So we're not talking about the anime. We're talking about a movie.
It's a live. It's a movie. They did the live action version of the cartoon that you just showed.
Okay, so
of that anime, yes.
Look,
okay, so
I'll show you. Hold on, I'll bring it up on my phone so you can see.
They did a legit actual movie.
Yes,
that with with actual people.
Yes,
and
real people.
And let me get this straight. So yes, something. I think that one thing Ty said is right, and I think we definitely need to have you and Austin on and talk to y'all about the significance of dubbed videos and like y'all are gonna have to.
I watch
like,
them. I don't have a problem with them. Listen, I've seen Money Heist. I've seen Cable
No,
Girl.
no,
I don't have
no,
a
no.
problem with
You're
them shit.
teetering. You're on the fence because you even say stuff like, "Well, their words didn't match up." You know, it's like, yeah, because it's
Watch the fucking Tyrone. Watch the movie and pay attention to damn, because I know Vince is gonna forget about this. So watch the movie and watch the fucking subtitles, okay? And you'll see, and like you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They had 1 or 2 words out of a whole fucking sentence that matched what the guy was saying, and I'm like,
hold on. So you're watching the dubbed over English version and subtitles?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that might be part of the problem.
That's redundant.
I don't know. I'm weird. I watch the subtitles. When I watch things, I watch it with the subtitles because sometimes, like, I hear things and I'm like, did they say that? And then like I can just read it and it'll make, you know what I'm saying? It'll be on point. So that's why I do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to turn my TV up to like 50 to fucking hear like a little, you know, because
right.
Loud, quiet. I'm not trying to deal with all that shit. So just turn the subtitles on.
I think because with the English dub, you have a different translation than you often have with the subtitles. The subtitles are usually provided by whatever platform or, you know, some other kind of third party. But yeah, so that's probably it's probably the translation. I think we should change the bitch of the week. Yaz's bitch of the week this week should just be other languages.
I was about
nothing in languages. Time out. Wait a minute.
Yo, you know the best way to not worry about these subtitles and these dubs not being a problem is to learn Japanese. Or perhaps we should go ahead and start putting Mandarin on our Edmodo and maybe even, you know, doing something on Rosetta Stone, because it's going to consistently be a problem. And I have to keep bringing up the fact that this is only an issue when it's Japanese or Asian languages. No, I don't hear anybody talk about, yo, I was watching Narcos and freaking, Pablo Escobar, his words wasn't matching up with nobody cares when it's like when it's a South American joint. Everybody's cool with it. But for some strange reason, when it's, Tenshin or Kenshin, or if it's Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia, if it's not matching up, if he doesn't say bad guy and bad guy comes out his mouth like that, all hell breaks loose. And we gotta just understand, like, subtitles dub movies, they're not, listen, there's only so much you can do. Yes, like, you do realize, like, if in translated, if thank you in Japanese is arigato gozaimasu, they can't, like, you know, like,
I get that, but like, just listen. Just watch it. We will have this conversation after you watch it. It's 2 hours long. If you can't get to the whole thing, then just, like, you know, get the bar and skip to the fight scenes. It's really the most important shit. Okay, the fucking fight scenes.
But see, what I think what you're missing is we already know this. Like,
I'm just saying.
Used to this.
I'm just saying. I just didn't. Listen. When I have to watch a movie with Austin, I have to watch the whole movie. Okay, no matter if it's boring or not. If he's like dumb interested into it, I can't watch it before him, and I have to wait. So I had to wait. He watched the whole thing, and then this motherfucker literally fell asleep at the last 25 minutes. I was like, oh my God.
Which was actually the probably the best part of the whole freaking movie.
And you know what? When he woke up, you know what I told him? I was like, motherfucker, you fell asleep to the best part of that goddamn movie.
Those fight scenes were crazy. I'm serious. Like I dare say the fight scenes were the last time I saw fight scenes like that, I was watching Ip Man.
Yeah,
and like the fight scenes are that good. I mean, we're talking about like wow, amazing sword fighting, amazing just like choreography, the amount of wow, like the on screen, how many people they have on screen at once. You almost get that for a moment, you almost get like that Lord of the Rings vibe. You know, you remember when like all of them started, you was like, oh shit, that's a lot of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Two Towers, especially, like when they were all locked in the castle, and it was like, so we gonna fight,
surrounded.
We gonna fight all of them, like, you know what I mean? So, but this dude Kenshin went in there like a one-man wrecking crew and did not blink when they surrounded him and all of that. Like he didn't blink. I was like, yo, they gonna kill the shit out of you, dude. Like there's like there's no way you're gonna come, and he did. So
Daniel, yes, we're talking about the for anyone who just popped in, we're talking about the new movie Rurouni Kenshin on Netflix. It just aired last night. It dropped yesterday. It's a live action anime. It was pretty fucking dope, actually.
Well, watch it, Daniel.
If you want, look, I can pull up the trailer on my phone on the camera so you guys can fucking see it if you want, like, so you can like legit see it.
No.
This is what it looks like.
We don't want.
We don't want to legit.
We don't want to.
It's legit live action.
Oh, hey, we've been doing such a good job of not getting canceled today, and
it was dope. You guys gotta see that shit. It was pretty dope. It's 2 hours long. I would just skip through, to the fight scenes. But it was dope. I liked it. Another movie I watched yesterday was Fatherhood. I don't know if you guys see it.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
It also dropped on Netflix. Kevin Hart came out with another movie, and it's just fantastic. It was.
Did you cry?
Yes, I fucking cried. I was. Oh my God. Austin looked over and he was like, "Oh, you so sensitive." And I was
this is real role. This is his first real role, right?
Yeah, and like I know
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin is not playing a funny role. He's playing a real role.
He's playing okay, good for him.
Like heartfelt. Like he had me in tears, bro. I had to get a tissue. Okay. I was like, oh my God.
Damn.
Oh, we got somebody in the chat. Paula said it was great too. So I definitely am watching it today. That is for sure.
Well, yo, since we bringing up stuff, first of all, we're not done with this conversation because yes, we need to establish the fact that damn it.
Yeah.
Did you watch Kung Fu Hustle?
Yes, actually, I love that movie. And for everyone who knows that movie, it's on HBO. It's on HBO Max right now. They're airing it. Okay, so watch that shit if you have not seen Kung Fu Hustle. It's fucking fire. I've seen it a million times. Like my brother was so into.
But the subtitles, yes, but the words don't match up.
When I was a kid, my brother was obsessed with any kind of Asian, like martial arts, all that shit. So I watched it like as a kid growing up. Like he's made me watch like all the Ip Man movies, Kung Fu Hustle. I've even seen some of like the knockoff like ones that are fucking hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So like I get it. I've seen them. It's just like on this one, it was fucking me up because there was just like too much going on, and then I was trying to like pay attention to what was going on so I could understand the storyline, so I could understand why they were fighting, and I was just like,
wow, whoa.
But the fight scenes were dope. That's all I gotta say. I didn't know the backstory before I watched.
Crazy. They are crazy. The fight scenes are definitely crazy. I like I said, this is next level fights. I mean, I wish Mortal Kombat would have taken the same.
Yes. Oh my God!
I really wish they would have taken the same approach because we would have been still talking about it. But
yeah, the fight scenes were epic as fuck. Like they were like legit. They were something where when we all watch it, we're gonna dive into this shit.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. And in any martial art movie that comes out now, they have that bar to hold up to now, because if they can do that shit, they showed us they're fucked. You know what I'm saying? They're fucked. Like that shit was gangster as hell. The different ways they approach. Y'all gotta watch that shit. I'm not gonna ruin it. Just watch that shit.
Are y'all into the show? The actual anime?
I never got
to see it. Yeah,
I never saw the show before.
So this is our first introduction to the concept.
Austin was telling me about it, and he was like, "Babe, we got to figure out what streaming service it's on." He's like, "It's probably on Crunchyroll." He's like, "Don't worry, we'll get on that shit." He's like, "And I'll educate you." So he's like, "This can make sense." And this motherfucker fell asleep, and it was.
Well, we love Austin, man.
I mean, the crazy part is Yaz hated it so much that she didn't even bother to listen to the storyline. They actually told the storyline of what and how and where and when and why and how they're beefing.
Trust me, I understand. I get it. Like I watched some of it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like the in between stuff. Like I was watching, and then when I was like, my brain was like going too much because I was trying to watch and read and just decipher. And I'm like, what did they just say? I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, it was a lot going on.
You gotta pick one, Yaz. You gotta either listen to the English version or read the dub version, but you can't do.
I got that. So now,
Like, you can't do both.
when I have time, I will go back, okay, and I will rewatch it without the subtitles on, and I'll just listen to it really loud so my neighbors can hear it with me. You know, that way. I'm gonna be like, the guys on the panel told me I couldn't watch it with the subtitles, so I have to hear it. So.
Well, all right. So are we putting this on the pedestal with good adoptions of anime series or anime stories? Does this give us new hope about a potential good Dragon Ball Z movie, a better version of The Last Airbender, which I still think the first one was fairly decent? Does this give us more hope about a potential Voltron movie? I mean, I'm always hoping that anime crossovers have had a hard time. I still think Bleach was a good one. I still think I'm still on the fence about Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know if y'all saw the Full Metal Alchemist movie.
Absolutely.
I think it was decent.
I
thought it was decent. But I think that it's good that they're starting to finally be able to adopt these, because you know how hard it is. Anime has some dare I say canon, which I wouldn't want to call that, because it's all it's all demographic. But when you see anime, you're gonna see the scene where somebody's running towards somebody else they're gonna jump, they're gonna slice, the screen's gonna turn black, they're gonna come back on, somebody's gonna be standing like this, somebody's gonna get cut in half. You're gonna see those screens, you know what I'm saying, where somebody's gonna get affected, the eye and the bubble inside the eye is gonna be really close to the screen. Like, there's something. So now that they're finally able to kind of put those all those elements on screen, we're able to see cool films like this, where we can actually see what it looks like would have happened on the cartoon, actually on the screen itself. So just hearing y'all talk about it is giving me hope. Even though I still think that I don't think I'm going to be affected by the subtitles, like Yaz. And Laz, you and Austin are on your own on this, because let's be real, man. There's a whole nother language that's being typed underneath.
Listen, do me a favor. Just watch a little bit of it with the subtitles on, and then you'll understand what I'm saying. You'll be like, yeah, that's fun. And I was like, because I was reading and I was listening, and I was like, those are two different.
Well, here's why that's not going to be a problem with me, Yaz. I have watched other films that are foreign films that are not Japanese forever that have the same problem.
Just listen. It's different. I've seen plenty of foreign films.
Let me give you an example. There's a show I love that's called Dark. Right? Dark is a German show, which I recommend. I don't know if y'all let me know if y'all think Yaz would like Dark.
Nah, she won't, because the words won't match up.
Now, Dark, the
slow show.
It's in German, yes, but it's all subtitles. They speak German, but it's dubbed over so that you can see that they're speaking English, but the words that are coming out their mouths.
That's not the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hold up, wait. But even the words that are typed on the screen are not the words that are coming that they're saying. You know what I'm saying? So you have subtitles which are saying one thing, their actual audible words that are saying another thing, and then their mouths which are saying a whole another thing. There's 3 different audio points. Still, I think it's one of the dopest shows out, because it involves the actual the delicacies involved with time travel. Yeah. And how, like, time is a loop and not something that is multiple streams. Yeah. And it depicts it perfectly, from my opinion. I mean, if I could give one instance of the timeline, there's this dude in this story who tries to go back in time to prevent something from happening, and he like beats said person up that's way in the past, and it turns out that's what happened before. Like he didn't realize it, but all he did was commit to the time by trying to disrupt the timeline. He actually accelerates the timeline, and that's what keeps happening. And I mean, it's a whole different thing that's going on.
A lot.
My point is, if I had let the words bother me, I would never be able to get through the 2 or 3 seasons that this story had, that this series had. And I would not be able to enjoy it. So I'm hoping that this whole subtitle debacle that you and Austin are surrounded with constantly at some point becomes something that you are used to, so we can watch dope shit like Dark as well.
So he can't watch movies the way you just described. I have no problem with that, but I'm just saying this specific movie, it's dubbed in English, so it's not even like they're like, I didn't really even pay attention to their mouths. You know what I'm saying? Like it was English. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, no matter what, that's not going to match up. I got that. But what they were saying in English and what you could hear in English and what you were reading, that was what was fucking me up.
Well, then turn off the.
Listen, I tried. I did. I was like, listen, I can't. I like, and that's when like Austin was falling asleep, so I didn't want to turn it up too loud because like literally you turn it up and it's like quiet, and then it got like super fucking loud. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, and like I knew he was trying to like pass out. He was just fighting it for a while, so that's why I didn't just want to like you know what I'm saying. That's how I watch TV because sometimes he falls asleep while I'm watching, so I just watch it with subtitles. I don't have to bother anybody and turn it up loud. But you should have seen me. I accidentally like hit the fucking remote and it accidentally turned it up like till 50, and this dude shut up and looked at me like a psycho and was like, "What's going on? Is everything okay?" And I was just like,
I want to read.
Like, yeah, my bad. I was like, my foot accidentally hit the remote and it went really high. He was like, yeah, I was wondering why you were screaming. He was like, I got scared for a second. I just started laughing.
I think we need a Yaz movie review show where it's just like movie reviews that are like everything around but the movie. It's just like I had this bite kept itching and like the food was not good. It was like salty, whatever. And like, Austin kept falling asleep.
Fell asleep.
Yeah, the movie, I don't even know, but like the weather was bad. Like,
the weather was bad.
I think we really need to take you back to where we all came from, which was that we used to have Saturday afternoon kung fu, like that day, like that, like literally the way it was was what you would watch your cartoons in the morning,
right?
And then at like noontime, whatever, you would catch they would come on with the kung fu movies. You would get one or two. So you would normally get to like you get your two movies. So we've been watching these movies since we were kids, and the only at that point in time in our lives, the only shows that you got subtitles for were literally those shows, or you got the dubs where the mouths didn't, he's still running his mouth and the words have already stopped, so. But we got accustomed to it so much that you just kind of get enveloped in the action. Yes. So now when you watch these flicks right now, it's an expectation. Like you literally have that expectation. You and Austin are coming into it like, man, I hope they not fucking got this shit dubbed.
No,
like, I hope they're not using subtitles.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, so can I just ask the question? Since all you guys agreed, even Daniel on the panel agreed too. You know what I'm saying? So like, and Mr. Cobb. Okay, so I get it. It's a guy thing that you watch, Saturday morning cartoons. And then because I watch Saturday morning cartoons, don't get that shit twisted. I ruined Mother's Day. My brother and I ruined Mother's Day forever because of Saturday morning cartoons. I miss them. No lie. Just like I said, I watch TV loud sometimes, and that's why I ruined it. So anyway, so Anthony he used to make me watch fucking kung fu movies, and it was in the afternoon. Is that a designated guy thing like that? Unspoken thing? Like what the fuck is there an age range that us women should be like we should know about because we've been subjected to this, and I for science, I want to know for future reference.
Well, no, yes and no. I think it's more generational than it is a guy thing because in our era, when we look, let's just keep it real. I think there's there's a little bit of an age gap here with Yaz being our efficient, our Generation Z representative or whatever we want to call it. So we came up.
Okay, I just made the fucking cut. It's not.
but you're still of the real world road rules generation where we grew up before we could watch things on demand, right? Like we had to, if we missed Saturday morning cartoons, then we didn't get another chance to watch those cartoons until the following week. We taped them on the VCR or we watched them early in the morning. And there were certain cartoons that only came on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? Like you could only see like like there was afternoon cartoons and then there was Saturday morning cartoons. Afternoon cartoons, you're talking Thundercats, Silverhawks, Marshall Braveheart.
I watched all those.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, yes, because it's on demand now. But back then,
no, I watched it back then. Stop your shit. When I was 12 years old, like dial-up computers was like a thing. Okay, that's when computer. So it's not like I'm fucking that young, okay, and I didn't watch television on cable and shit. Like this was before you could DVR that shit too and save it.
We didn't even have DVR. We didn't even have DVR.
Bullshitting.
All right. I'll take it a step further then. All right, I'll see you dial up internet, and I'll raise you Cartoon Network. I'll raise you Nickelodeon. I'll raise you Nick Jr. That shit that we didn't have when we was coming up. We had to watch this shit on network TV with antennae. You know what I'm saying?
With no remote, with a TV, you gotta turn the knob. You gotta turn the knob.
I know why I'm so cool and why I can hang with y'all, because my grandma done raised me. This bitch had a dial fucking, okay? Stop your shit. Rotator phone. Stop your shit, okay? I'm not a jit. Stop it. I'm almost 30 years old in this bitch. Stop it.
So then you were around.
All right, my bad.
You were around for Saturday matinee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember when Bob Barker used to be all hot shit, like, hey, on the TV for, fucking Wheel of Fortune and shit. I'm not that young, okay?
The price is wrong, bitch.
Bob Barker, I went that far back, exactly. Okay?
All right. So
he was running, okay, not walking.
I will concede, and I will, what's the word I'm looking for? Digress as it pertains to your youthful, youthfulness.
Yeah,
but I think the point that Ty was making, Tyrone, is that that we, even though it sounds like Yaz also, was a part of this culture, we were brought up in this era where this stuff is accepted because there were no other alternatives. Like we didn't when we watched Kung Fu, it wasn't like, oh, damn it, the words aren't mixing up. Oh, this it was like, that's the way it is. It's kind of like church, right? It's like going to church and be like, oh my God, why is we still here? It's been 3 hours, like why is they passing around the offering plate again? Like, I thought we did that already. Is he ever going to finish? Like, doesn't he know the game starts today? Like, we accept that these things are the way that it works. When you go to a black church, you're going to have babies screaming on the back. The choir is going to sing 3 selections. Somebody's going to come up, start with a prayer, and end with an offering. And afterwards you can buy boiled peanuts or a moon pie, depending on if you're in the South or the Midwest.
Depending on what church you're at. I serve food after the
right, yeah. Like this, it's built into the cake. Like you get it. Like you don't complain about it. Like for a black person to leave a black church and be like, oh my God, I can't believe we got here at 11 and we're leaving at 4. It's like, is this your first time in church? So when we were listening to Yaz and she's saying all this stuff, we're like, what do you like? You get, like, that's how it works, right?
Yeah, listen, I have got acclimated with the times. I am sorry, okay? I did start up on the VCR and watching things at a certain time, but now I'm spoiled because I don't have to fucking watch commercials. I can just search for some shit and it'll pop the fuck up on my Fire Stick. I've been listening to Ty too much. That's what the fucking problem is. That's what the fucking problem is. It's all his fault.
It's your fault, Ty. Now it's your fault.
Hey, man.
He's like, I gotta get Yaz on, dog. I gotta get her on. She's like, she's in the Renaissance time. We gotta get her, up and popping. So who really I think Ty is actually the most like one acclimated to the times here. Like, let's be serious, okay?
Yeah.
I'll be my house. I watch it in my house.
Yeah, well, listen.
Why you gotta put pants on to watch movies?
Well, I will say it, and every time I go to the movies as of late, I start to to join Talim's movement towards staying at home. Like I said, the last time somebody practically, got a hand job right behind me, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, and that's something you don't have to worry about at home.
Can I ask you a question about that? I forgot to ask this when we were having that conversation. You know those people that stand by the exit doors, that like are like the peep and tom of the movie theaters that like, sit in on the free movie, where were they at when this was going down? You didn't be like, or throw some popcorn at this motherfucker. No. Like your wife didn't do that, because I would have been like, hey, can you get these motherfuckers in the back?
If it was loud enough to be a problem, then they probably would have came out. But this was like subtle. It's like when your significant other, they don't snore, but they grit their teeth. It's a difference. Like, it's one of them is like loud, blatant, like, yo, shut the fuck up. The other was like, is that what I think? What is that? You know what I'm saying? So like when I'm listening, I'm not like hearing somebody like, oh yeah, oh that's it right there. All I'm hearing is like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, and you don't want to turn around and be like, yo. So you gotta just like.
Vince is like, is somebody eating a banana behind me? What is that sound?
Anyway,
yo, Vince, that is one of the reasons also that I do appreciate being home, is because unfortunately I don't have the same reservations when it comes to speaking my mind to people.
Oh yeah, that's true. You don't.
Yeah, so like if that was happening behind me, I'm not only going off on you, but I'm letting you know I just paid $13 goddamn dollars and $30 for some snacks and shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna enjoy this movie, and I'm not gonna be hearing you getting jerked off while I'm watching. I in the bathroom, whatever y'all gotta do, but that shit is not going down right here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why Ty doesn't go to theaters. He's not allowed back. He had to tell too many people, and they were like, "Look, you gotta stop."
At all.
The Pee Wee Herman, the Paul Rubin, the strikes again. Yeah. Paul Rubin was this guy named Pee Wee Herman back in the day, that used to have this show.
I know who Pee Wee Herman is. I know who it is.
Hello, kids. Today we're going to talk to the chair, and then but yeah,
to get that kind of charge is even funnier.
I'm really one of the reasons why I'm kind of adamant about this, Yaz, is because there's so many more things we want to talk about with you, and I don't want it to be like every time we talk about a foreign movie, you're like, dog, the words didn't match up with the mouth, dog. You're like,
I will reacclimate myself, okay, and I will learn some self-restraint. And I will turn the subtitles off. Okay, so we can have a legit conversation about this. But like that movie, like I said, it was boss as fuck. Watch that shit. Like I was very impressed. I did get the whole storyline because like I said, I tried to watch, a lot of it, a whole hour, and then I was like, okay, I can't watch the storyline anymore. I just was interested in the fight scene. So I just tell Austin every time the fight scene, come get me, holler at me. I was making food, so he did, and he paused it.
That's a
and
new
I got
angle.
to see the whole thing, and it was dope. So
yeah, you would have probably liked it even more, Yaz, if you really would have knew what was going on. I'm serious, because
I knew the whole plot of it, because I asked him about it before we started watching. I was like, can you just give me like a synopsis of what I'm going to be watching, so that way I'm not like, what the fuck's going on, and I have to pause it and ask him questions and bother him during it, because I don't like when people talk to me during the movie. I will literally cuss you the fuck out if you try to talk to me. So I asked my questions before, whatever, and then we started watching it, and then my questions were already answered because I knew what was going on. I just was trying to keep up with it, and that's what was frustrating me because of what I was already told. I was like, okay, so we're here. Like, I knew where we were in the storyline. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the problem. It was just all the banter in between with the words not matching up, and then like, I don't know, some of the characters, like I was like, yo, he's ugly, like god damn. So I just you know what I'm saying? I just like skipped some of the parts, but then like I said, all the fight scenes were definitely something that like I was really intrigued in, because I wanted to see like what the fuck was going on, like why they were fighting basically, and like I understand why they were fighting. I know the storyline, you know what I'm saying? But I want to go back and rewatch it, and then I'll rewatch it without the subtitles on, and I'll let you know when we're all talking about this again,
Yeah, and watch it by yourself because Austin is. We love Austin, but
he sleeps.
You know,
like
he's not helping. In these
sleeps,
scenarios, like because you got when y'all both start talking about the shit not adding up. Because like I want to just touch back on a couple things, and I think we're gonna try to get under 2 hours this episode. But I wanted to go back. The reason why, I know you're talking about Kenshin and all of that, but I still wanted to go back to talk about a little bit more about Ragnarok a little bit because we didn't really like. One of the things that I think that Ty Leem touched on, is that I think is so important, is that this is a series that isn't about Loki and Thor of Marvel. Marvel, Loki, and Thor come with an image. They come with a story, with a background that is built into the Marvel storyline. Right. The Ragnarok is more, even though they do have resemblance of the characters that we know from the screen, is more built on the actual Greek mythology, the Norse mythology itself. And that makes it a little more interesting for me. And it makes it's admissible that they won't have as much action and stuff like that. There's also another show out right now. I just started kind of looking at it a little bit. I'm not as deep into it, but there's a show called Katla.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna start watching that last night, but I'm gonna watch that today.
It has the same type of. It's a little now. I can't say whether it's good or bad. I did fall asleep on it, but me and the wife started watching it. But it has this same kind of element of like bringing up Norse mythology in a realistic element. Oh, okay. So that there are like people coming out of these glaciers, and one lady comes out of the glacier. And she's looking for Thor. She's like, who is your last? Who is it that you? How did you get down there? And she's like, oh, I'm looking for Thor. And they're like, Thor, like, bitch, what did you talk about? You know what I'm saying? And she's like, Thor. And then this dude shows up, and she's like, yo, show me the lady that y'all are talking about. And he walks into the room, and she's like, it's you, Thor. And he's like, what the fuck is you talking about? It's kind of like it's Ragnarok-esque in terms of the series,
but modern day,
right? Well, exactly. It's in Iceland as opposed to being in Norway, which already has a whole other twist. Right. So I'm just saying, like, things like this are going to keep coming out. So hopefully we can keep talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't even get a chance to talk about the depiction of Mjolnir that they showed in this episode, and how that Ragnarok has this tendency in both seasons now. They have these climaxes that come at the very end of the show. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like climax and then falling action. It's like the dopest thing that happens in the series happens, and then it's end credits for the whole show. Yep. And I'm not too mad at that, but I'm just saying, like, that's what we're getting with Ragnarok, and I think that's something admirable about that, of them being able to hold us off, those of us that are used to seeing Loki and Thor and thunder and lightning and superpowers with Hulk and all this and the third. You know what I'm saying? We're used to just seeing that from the jump, but now we're seeing it only when it's applicable to the realistic realm, and I hope that that's something that we can keep talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought that was pretty dope. Otherwise, as opposed to it being, Thor throwing the hammer and coming back and then looking dope as hell, because we're like, oh shit, that doesn't just happen as easily. We're accustomed to just having Loki getting beat the fuck up by a big by a big brute strength and cussing out Hulk right before he basically uses him as a rag doll and knocks him about. So that's fantasy. Both of these are fantasy, but to see it kind of unwind the way it did with Ragnarok, I thought ultimately, even though it was slow throughout, and yes, I would have preferred to see them as real giants. Yes, we're on the same exact page on that. It's like, why call yourself giants if you're 5'11"? You know what I'm saying?
Because that would have played back. That would have played right back into the whole fantastical theme. And I think with the directors and writers of this Ragnarok show are trying to do is to put you in the mindset and the perspective that, like, this is like how mythology is created. How the exaggeration.
I get that, but they could have made them like taller or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, giants, giants for us, because we've gone through the fantastical realm of Gulliver's Travels and stuff like that, where we first experienced a giant as little kids. This is not like what they're trying to basically say is giants are a race. Like they are a race. Okay. They're not. It's not. It's like the whole idea. Like you're kind of imposing your belief system as far as what you've been taught that giants are onto what these giants are. Like they're a race.
I get like what the whole point of, you know what I'm saying, like them being giants and like, you know, the fact that like they're an immortal race that can only be killed by, you know, like weapons of like, you know, their past, you know what I'm saying? So I get that like 100%. I understand the whole point of why they did things a certain way. I just wish that certain things would have been different. You know what I'm saying? It would have made things more, I guess, believable and more like, I don't know. I guess in a way it would have made things more, I don't know, more relevant for me and made it more believable for me.
But they explained it to Yaz, like the giants aren't just a race. It's like they're all gods. Number one, they're all gods. So basically, these are clans. Like these are clans. Like so, you had a clan over here, you had a clan over here. At one point in time, because they spoke to it on the storyline, they were all cool with each other. They were all like at one point in time in the history, they were all just gods. And at some point, there was like discord because some wanted to do this and the others weren't like against what they wanted to do. And that's what caused the kind of back and forth between now. Some are called giants, some are called gods. But one of the things about that separates them is the clan and the blood. So like that was one of the things that they talked about with Loki, because you saw the scene where he took Odin's blood and injected the blood into him. And this is what causes Loki not to be able to have children that are born children. You understand what I'm saying? Like Loki bursts titans. Like that's like what he bursts. Like Fenrir is an animal. What is it? Fenrir Tyrone?
Fenrir?
No,
Fenrir, I believe Fenrir.
Fenrir. Yeah, Fenrir is a like a wolf. Mm-hmm. He was, and that is Loki. That's one of Loki's offspring. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you've now seen that he's already birthed pretty much the world killer, which was the tapeworm that you were referring to.
Right.
Which I don't know how that like if they've been keeping everything like on a relative scheme, I don't see where you're gonna go with the world killer, because now if you couldn't, because then it doesn't make sense. Because then I agree with you, Yaz. If you're gonna have a giant serpent that can eat the world, then you might as well have giants. Like at this point, you might as well have giants.
He literally, okay, my question, another thing that like really kind of like that's it, and this is I liked the show, but just certain things just got me a little pissed off about it. And like the whole thing that like I get that Loki is like gender fluid, you know what I'm saying? He's like non-binary, he can have kids, but like he wasn't even fucking pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And he so that kind of concept to me was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden he's in the hospital and his stomach's like bulged out and he's like looking, and I'm like, is he pregnant? Like I literally asked that. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like I was confused there because I was like, this is fucking like when the fuck did we take a hard right? Like what the fuck is like I was just like I had to stop it for a second and like just like take a break and like, you know, just walk around. I was like, what the fuck is
that happened after he mixed the blood.
I know that. I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like that whole point of that was just like, what the fuck was the point of them not depicting the giants? You know what I'm saying? The dog. Like I get the dog was supposed to be like, but he was like a fucking like, I don't know, his eyes, like the only thing about the dog that was different was his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't anything like more like I thought the dog was gonna be like the Fenrir, the dog that he killed. I thought the dog was gonna be more like wolf, you know what I'm saying? Esque. Like it was gonna have, you know what I'm saying? Like a husky or something like that. Like it looked like a fucking shaggy, skinny ass dog.
Once it started fighting him, like once it started, like once they sent him after or whatever, like it became like more of a monster. And I think honestly, a lot of these complaints are more about the budget of the show. I don't think that show is a very high budget show, and I think that the reason we only see these things in very small moments is because they just can't afford to make a big giant, fantastical production and stuff like that. So they do have to just be very careful with the way that they that they come out and do this stuff. So I think it's a lot of it is just logistics, that they can't just go crazy with CGI and stuff because it's a pretty low budget.
Okay,
I think that's a good explanation, but I also want to say that let's not forget that remember when
can I Tyrone?
Yeah.
They had $180 million budget.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
my God.
then there's where the hell are they spending that money? They spend all that shit on Volvos? What the hell?
They spent the town. They rent the fucking town out. And
Put me on Yaz's side. They need to spend that money better.
I'm just saying, like, okay, many things. One, I wanted to see some giants in there. You know what I'm saying? And another thing was, my thing was when the dad was beating the shit, like, when they have their fights, like the giants, when they be beating the shit out of each other, the next day or within like hours, there was nothing, like there was no marks on them, nothing. We watched this kid get fucking beat the shit out. The next day he's at school looking.
They're immortal. They're immortal, yes. They're not regular humans.
Right, but that's what I'm seeing more of that and more of their backstory on the giants, because like they were intriguing as fuck, but we didn't know anything really about them. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of, if they were such like an ultimate, like their enemy, you know what I'm saying? I would have liked to know more about like why everything like more happened, like how the giants came to be, like what are they, you know what I'm saying? Like I get they're a god, but like we know that Loki came from Odin. Where the fuck did the giants come from if they're a species? That's what I'm saying. Like there's just so many things about that. There wasn't, it was unspoken, and I didn't like that. Like there was a lot of questions I had that were not answered, and I don't know if they're going to get answered in the third season if they do decide to make one. But with that fucking budget, I just would have liked to seen a lot more than I did. It was kind of dull for me. It was very fucking boring for that much money. Like Netflix, I'm sorry, but that original could have definitely been a lot fucking better. You dropped the ball on that. And Netflix is my second bitch of the fucking week on that.
Well, yeah, and Sue just kind of made the point, and I think that is a great point that she just made. If you were to actually read Norse mythology and actually follow not what we get through the MCU, but if you actually read the Norse mythology, I think it lines up well with Norse mythology. I think it actually gives you everything that you're supposed to get. Now, I do definitely agree with you. They have dropped the ball a lot in this last season and the first season when it came to being more informative. But I do think if you because I think what happened with you was also what happened with me, but then I went back and kind of made sure I got a detailed drop on it. But what happened is, the fact of the matter is, it got real slow in the middle. It got really, really slow. Yes. And it got so slow that you may have stopped watching it, kind of like.
No, I binged a whole fucking day. I spent Sunday. Austin was at work all day. He was at work for like almost 12 hours. So I literally binged both seasons so I could watch it without him having to interject or me to stop it or anything like that. So no, I watched all the way through, and yes, it was very dull and very boring in the middle of it. But my thing is, like, this show is trying to, for people who don't know about much of like Norse mythology, they're trying to teach us about it, and they left out a lot of great points. That's just my thing. If you're going to teach someone about it, don't leave out like important. It's like our history, how our history is stolen from us. You tell us like, oh, what's really going on, but you don't tell us how it really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just my problem with it. So I don't know, that it was lacking in a lot of areas. Like there's just not one spot, there's multiple. So that was just my problem with the show. Like all in all, it was a good show, but I just feel like there's a lot of things lacking in it, and that could definitely have been fixed, especially with the other shit that has been coming out with from Netflix. Like they're the top one with originals, and this was like, I feel like this was like a Amazon original right now that I watched.
I would say that in this realm, all right, it's like the difference between, say, like Ghostbusters, right, and Ghost Hunters, right? Like one of them is based on a show, One of them is based on like the action, the exciting stuff. The other one is just based on the concept, right? Like you could watch dudes chase a bunch of empty hallways with, infrared cameras, and you're not going to see a ghost, but you like the concept of ghosts, so you watch it because you're a paranormal fan. Whereas Ghostbusters, you see Slimer, you get this, you don't cross the screams, ectoplasm, all of the stuff that you want is there, but it's a little more conducive to your liking because it has the action, it has the dialogue, the humor. In this instance, I think that this Ragnarok is meant more to be like, look, you already know about Thor, but here's a different take on it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like, yo, here's the Thor you love, and here's the Loki you love, and here's the big villain, and here's how they fight. Like they're trying to kind of repackage the same thing that you're already accustomed to in a different realm, in a different sense. And I think that that's maybe where maybe this just isn't your style. Now, I'll say this. I do think that there's a few things we haven't spoken about because Mama Duke in season 2, the chick, I don't know if I have a clip. I think she's briefly in the beginning of this clip right here. But the chick who messes with all of the underage boys, there she is right there.
Yours, mom.
And girls.
And girls. Like her character, I love that. Where was she when I was in middle school? She is really acting like the type of kid knocked up. Hey, look, look, I would not have,
I would have risked it.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
she's worth a risk.
The moms in our schools look more like the lady who was
like Magna's mother, like Magna's mom.
Like, well, Magna, if you should come home, maybe should. That's more like the mom that was in.
Should have no teeth from all the fucking chocolate and shit. I mean, her fucking dentist bill must be through the goddamn roof.
Yo, but I think that whole thing is fascinating. The fact that she seemed to have some sort of kinship and was sorrowful after her husband, the demise of him. After she was like, the whole time, like you've been fucking these teeny boppers at school, and all of a sudden, he wants to have a relationship with his bastard son, and you're acting. So I thought that was interesting. Another thing that we need to, that I think, and I gotta skate up out of here pretty soon. But another thing that I think we have to keep in mind also is, remember they started talking about like the outside images and how they looked and whatnot. It would compare it to what they expected them to look like. Why Loki sees this in the mirror as opposed to who it is that he actually is, and why even Thor saw this version of himself who had on a beard and had. If you remember when he first saw himself in the mirror, it looked all weird. So the whole notion is that they are able to, not Loki and Thor, but the giants. Do you remember when the father he's like, but he's like, what do you mean thousands of years old? Like you look like you're, and then he's like, and then he just being revealed like how old he really was, and he was like, well, but we can't walk around like that. It's like there's a sense of shape shifting that they have to where they're not the same giants that walked the earth so long ago when they were worshipped and so were the apple of the eye of men. So they have the ability to kind of to constrain themselves and put them in a figure that's more acceptable to society so that they can live in this realm. Otherwise, they would just they'd walk they'd be these big ass giants walking around. So, but what I agree with Yaz on is that at least at some point, break out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see the big giant. Give me the climatic scene where he actually isn't just just his eyes change colors, but he grows a couple inches. Maybe he, his they got the budget for it. Then so I think that with that you're absolutely right.
But when Fior is like, telling his girlfriend to go, and he's like, you know what I'm saying? That would have been
with the Michael Jackson eyes.
Bust out and like, and like show that he was like a jock. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a good point. Just saying.
All right, a couple things here real quick, guys, and I think we'll go ahead and start wrapping up. But there's a couple shows that are out right now that I thought were at least worthy of mentioning, even though some of them may not necessarily be on our radar. One I'm gonna bring up real quick is Black Summer. Black Summer just came out yesterday, and it is frankly hands down outside of Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and that whole thing. I think it is the best zombie show. Now, Yaz, we know how much you love zombies, so I don't know if you.
Check it out.
It is such. I'll tell you, if you haven't watched Black Summer, if you are into zombies, apocalyptics, anything like that, bruh, like just all you gotta do is turn it on. Just turn on the show. The first, like, if you don't get swept in by the first 2 or 3 minutes of it, like, you're not gonna like it because it starts that fast. Like, you have no idea. It's such a roller coaster of a ride. As soon as Black Summer comes on, you're like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on right now? I don't know who I'm rooting for, who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, who's a what. I don't know what's going. I just know that I want to know what the hell is going to happen next. And so I want to say that I'm going to recommend that we all watch this, Yaz, you included.
I'm not watching
And
it.
then maybe come on, man, yo, you can do it, Yaz.
This opening thing, they got blood all over this dude. This bitch has blood all over her face. It's a
Yeah.
zombie movie, and you said it jumps right into that shit. I don't need to have nightmares off the first 3 minutes.
Come on, Yaz, come on, man. You watch The Conjurer and shit like that, man.
I didn't watch that actually, so
Oh,
Yo, yes. What I will say in Black Summer's defense is Black Summer. One of the things that makes it different from other zombie movies is the fact that a lot of the zombies appear to be like, you know what I'm saying, just like,
yeah.
you know, regular people. Like they just like, it's not like, you know how in some zombie movies they do such a big thing on makeup and you know they kind of look all zombie-ish, and this is like one of those realistic events. Like, so if we were to have an apocalyptic events where zombies, you know, people started dying and became back as zombies, this would be like realistically what it would look like.
So you're telling me to watch this so that I can be scared to leave my house and look at me.
Yes, absolutely.
So I can carry around a damn machete and shit with me, like, you know, the bitch off of Walking Dead, you know, and like carry some chains in my backpack just in case.
Wow. Okay, that's where you're going with this. All
No,
right.
there's a girl in this, and I don't know her name, but I believe that you would relate to her very well. Like I'm talking about
kill herself. She's scared.
She's Puerto Rican. Vince, what's her name? The Puerto Rican girl that is with the was with. I don't want to.
Oh, are we talking about I didn't finish the first episode.
No, I'm talking about season 1.
Oh, season 1. Oh man, I don't even remember. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I do, bro. It's been a while. We don't want to, you know.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
We're not trying to. Yeah, all right, come on. Let's. You know.
Is it Stella? Shit. I'm looking at IMDb right now. Is it Stella?
I think it might be Stella. I think it might. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, I'm looking at IMDb.
All the brown people.
Oh, sorry, no. The character's name would be Abby. Maybe.
Abby.
Oh, Abby. Yeah. All right, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
She got a potty mouth. And she just like, she don't give a fuck.
What's the movie called again?
Black Summer.
Black Summer.
It's
a Netflix series.
What's the character called?
It's the character I think you said is Abby.
Abby?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. I'm looking forward to watching it based on what y'all are
Holy
saying.
Fuck. Yo, Tyrone.
Yeah, I'm
yo. All right. Is anybody here? Have y'all seen Hardcore Henry? Everybody here seen Hardcore Henry?
Yeah.
All right. It's like watching a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is almost in that same realm in certain themes. You know, not the whole entire thing, but it has that first person. You know, that Cloverfield's you know, first person camera like effect where it's just one camera, take scene. You know, following up like I'm trying to tell you the opening scene itself. If you like the Falcon and Winter Soldier opening scene, you'll like the opening scene on both Black Summer seasons.
Okay.
First one and the second one. They both and they're completely different. They're both completely different. So I wanted to mention that.
And zombies have full motor functions, by the way. These are full motor functioned zombies. Which means they can run, they can climb, they can fucking do all of that shit.
They open doors and they break through doors.
Full motor function.
It's not your Walking Dead zombie put him behind the fence and
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not Michael Jackson Thriller, you know what I'm saying? Zombie. It's like like he says, like almost brain functional zombies in this, which makes it even that much more scary. And I will spoil this part. One of the things that I would say is a tiny bit different is the turn sequence, the time frame from turning from zombie from person to zombie is like that. You know what I'm saying? Like in this Walking Dead, you get bit. And then you got like a couple weeks to hang out, you know. Hey, Carl, I can't believe it, Carl, you know what I'm saying? But in this is like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
and you don't even have to get bit. You can get scratched.
Yeah, like it's not even
any contact. You done.
Black Summer.
So
all I'm saying
y'all just said the keywords.
And here's the best part, Yaz. It's all in English. So you know, the subtitles, the words, everything matches up.
Absolutely.
Great. One positive. That's good.
All right. And then I wanted to end on this, guys, because I got to head out here to this Juneteenth barbecue. Hallelujah. Hopefully y'all get you some freedom cake out there somewhere, somewhere today. But I know this isn't necessarily our speed, but I would be remiss, since we do talk about shows, movies, and things that are popping, if I didn't bring up June Osborne and everybody else up at The Handmaid's Tale. Now, listen, I know that this is a 75% male cast on this panel, but yo, Handmaid's Tale is dope. I love the show. All right, I'm just gonna come out and say it. The concept is completely new. It's creative. It's right up my alley. It's taking religion, putting it on its head, and showing what it'd look like if we were ruled by a theocracy, and the women basically suffer at the hands of a patriarchal society. And this is a show that goes through one woman's tale, one woman's a sequence of events that has to kind of live through this whole. Oddly enough, I didn't realize until just now how much like Thor she looks. But that's a whole other subject, and that's a joke that didn't go over very well as well. But yeah, man, this is a series that just had the series. It just had the season finale. It's episodic, which means every week it's a different episode. It doesn't come out so that you can binge. You have to wait. And it just was a season finale. And I didn't know if anybody here watched it. It's the fourth season.
It's the fourth season. Oh. Yeah. Honestly, like here's my and I'm on the first season. I was like, man, this show is amazing. It was great. Honestly, I wish I had stopped watching after the first season, because like the second through the fourth for me have been nothing but disappointment. I'm just like, what is happening with it? Because the show is based on a book.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and then once they ran out of book material, they had the same problem Game of Thrones had.
Game of Thrones, and
they cannot seem to find their footing. And if you like depression, if you love being depressed, you will love Handmaid's Tale. It is like if you could just take depression and inject it right into your veins. Handmaid's Tale is that one. No, but for real though. Season and the second season were all right, but like the last couple seasons have been yikes.
Really,
in my opinion, and I may not I may not represent the majority in that, but that's me. Sometimes I do like to be the buzzkill.
All right, well, bad tie, good tie turning into bad tie, and maybe bad opinion tie, because I think that this series is one of the few exceptions of being able to hold the plot down without the literature to support it. One of the first follies I saw in this was when Michael Crichton passed. After the first two Jurassic Parks, there were no more books, right? And they still kept making Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic Park 4, Jurassic World. But Michael Crichton only wrote Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and that was it. Jurassic Park 2, excuse me. Then we had the Game of Thrones once again, which was based on a book that wasn't completed. And then we have Handmaid's Tale, which the first season was based on the book and almost went exactly by the book.
Yeah.
But they was like, there's too much money in this. We got to keep this going. And then I think the young lady, Emma, the young lady who plays June Osborne, she, I think, started to become an executive producer in it. So when you do lose the writer, to screenplay element of it, you do. But one thing about Handmaid's Tale is that I don't know what Ty is mesmerized by something right now. I don't know what it is, but he was researching something, or it was titties on the screen. I just looked down and Ty was like in deep thought, like he was like,
Bro.
Nah, I'm looking at a different screen, man. There's because while you were going over the movies, man, there's a movie that's coming out with I want to say it's the guy from Guardians of Galaxy. It's on
Chris Pratt. Are you talking about Tomorrow War?
Tomorrow War or something like that.
Yeah,
that's coming
next
out.
month.
Talk about that.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of previews that I wanted to work to talk to get us to review.
Okay.
Unfortunately, today on Freedom Day, I may not be able to, but we'll definitely discuss that. But a couple things about Handmaid's Tale real quick, and then we can get up out of here if y'all want. Yes, it may get a little. It does lose a step after the first season. I'm not going to deny that. But I think that it didn't spiral out of control like Tyrone's saying. I think that if you are invested in the characters that they did introduce you to in the first season, it's still worth the watch, especially as you watch June kind of, who Offred, depending on what you want to call her, has this whole character arc. Like if you're watching it currently, like it's satisfaction. Just imagine you're watching 12 Years a Slave, right? And the main character is tossed into slavery, and then he goes through all of this, and then at the end he's released, and then that happily ever after he's a free man again. Well, take that and then say instead of him being released and being happily ever after, he's like, hey, yo, fuck that. Did y'all motherfuckers just enslave me for 12 years? Oh, fuck. Yo, give me my sword. Yo, do you believe what they doing to us? And then like galvanize support. And then they start to go back and like, yo, nah, fuck that. Do y'all realize what we did not forget? You know what I'm saying? And they go back for revenge. So there's a whole different, like from season 1 to season 4, they start as feeble women who are in a situation that they have no control over. And they're starting to delve into like, okay, we have come this far away from that situation, and now I want my revenge. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would love to dive into the show at some point, but like it's I haven't seen the final episode yet, and maybe that'll kind of change my mind about this last season. But I'm looking forward to the finale. I'll probably end up watching that today. But it's just there because the satisfaction, I haven't felt satisfaction yet. Like every time they get close, they're like, wow. But this, you know what I mean? Like it's and I'm being vague so as to not spoil things. But yeah, I'm hoping that the finale actually gives some satisfaction, because like every time like just to be vague, but in the courtroom, and like the two come out of the courtroom and they're like, yeah, I'm like, what?
I love that though. I hated it.
I love that. Hated it because that's
because it shows that the type of world that they're trying to build in Gilead is not restricted to only Gilead.
Yeah,
we're of the mindset that, oh, you're in Canada, that's a Gilead thing. Yeah. But then to leave the courtroom and have support shows like, oh shit. So you mean Trumpism could leave America? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the connection. The connection is that sometimes it feels too much like real life, and I'm like, I hate it. Like if I want to go watch the news and see how terrible people are, I could go watch the news. Like right now, I feel like I'm just watching a slightly dramatized version of real life. Yeah. And it sucks. But it not sucks because they do a good job. But like, yeah, that's my thing. And that's my own personal opinion. It's like I see it and I'm like, so I want some outside of real life satisfaction. I don't want just like a little bit of satisfaction like we get every now and again, like when we're like, hey, how about equality? And they're like, here's a holiday. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like, give me some real satisfaction.
Touche.
Yeah. That out in the immortal words of TJ Legacy. The United States is the worst restaurant when it comes to civil rights. We keep ordering freedom. Y'all keep giving us holidays. We order the eradication of police brutality, and you give us kente cloth. You know what I'm saying? We keep, it's like we didn't order this. You just give us what we ordered, and we'll give you the Yelp review you deserve. But hey, whatever, it is what it is. But anyway. That's all I got for the
day. Well, I would like to add to your list, because I mean, as dope as I hear both of you saying the show is, it is in its 4th season, which means that's a lot of catching up on to do. So I don't know necessarily that I'll be able to do that. But one of the shows that I've been telling you, Vince, and also you, Tyrone, but I definitely would love for all of you guys to watch it, is Evil. Evil.
Oh yeah. You do keep bringing that up.
Evil is a excellent show. If you have not seen it, you are really doing an injustice. My man, what's his name? Michael
Coulter.
Coulter.
From Luke Cage.
Yes, from Luke Cage is the star of the show. Michael Emerson. I'm mentioning him, who is Dr. Leland, because his character is so dope in this series. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna do all of the spoilers and everything.
This is giving me supernatural vibes. I would agree, but we would have to then negotiate which version of supernatural you're referring to. Because
so it basically says, like, I just looked it up real quick on the internet, and it says it's a series about the battle between science and religion.
Oh, that's
dope. Shit. It's dope. I'm telling you, because it bro, I really don't want to spoil this. Like,
okay, all right.
Because I feel like when you watch it, it's one of those things that we can really have a real discussion about, because it's a lot of it's
I'm with that.
It's for us being how we are when it comes to our belief systems and like liking facts, I guess. But it's one of those things that puts in question, like those things, like because a scientist will find a way to disprove, and then what if you're the scientist and now you don't even believe your own hypothesis? You're like, I don't know, maybe I was wrong.
I was a little leery about watching Evil because it gave me X-Files vibes. It gave, and so and I remember I started to get into this show called Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
At one point in time with Nicole Bahari. And I got into it. I even went through the first I think 2 seasons. And after a while I was like, man, this is goddamn it, this is Law and Order SVU. You know what I'm saying? with ghosts. And I was like, man, they tricked me. And so when I saw the Evil joint, I was like, all right, I don't know if this is going to be the same thing, but I'm gonna check it because you have consistently brought it up, and if it's something that we could discuss here, and as long as the words match up with the sound,
everybody's English on there.
Clear English. It's on Netflix. Excuse me, it's on Netflix, and it has 2 seasons, I guess, so far. So,
well, season 1, I know season 1 for sure is on Netflix. Season 2 is on Paramount Plus, so I don't think it's
it's fresh.
It is fresh. And again, man, I really want you guys to check this out, because I've been wanting to talk about it for a while, and it's really good. I haven't even started watching season 2, but I am about to be on that. So yeah.
All right. Any other recommendations?
Oh, look! What he say? What he say? Don't watch Evil at night if you're scared of X-Files, Vince.
Hey, fuck you, Vince.
Yeah, because Evil will have.
I didn't say I was scared of it. I just said it reminded me of it. I'm not Yaz.
He said Vince, not Yaz.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but you're the one scared. I'm not scared. No, he's some scared little boy. You know what I'm saying?
There's zombies, okay? If we were in Harry Potter and we were at that door, that would be my thing coming at me as a zombie. So I'm just saying it's justified.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is the least believable character and the most evil of all zombies, bro.
Look at what happens in our fucking society today. What the fuck? In every zombie movie, what happens? Something happens, and there's like a fucking pathogen or something like that, some kind of fucking virus we all get, and then we turn into fucking zombies. What the fuck happened in 2020? Ooh, coronavirus. Shit is coming. I'm not stupid.
All right. Well, thank God that Tyrone is vaccinated, and so we're all good to go.
He's probably going to be the zombie.
I'm getting mine tomorrow.
You mentioned. Yeah, now,
congrats, man. It's a good feeling.
I watched Sweet Tooth.
Oh man, that's hard, bro.
It is tough because Sweet Tooth, the concept of it. I'll talk briefly about it because I'm with you, Vince. I'm on the fence about that one. Sweet Tooth, the concept of it kind of reminds me of what was it, Dr. Moreau's?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's literally the island of Dr. Moreau. I was like, I cannot do this. I can't. I don't function well with spliced genomes of humans and animals, especially depicted as children. Like, that's where I was lost. I was like, I cannot watch this show the whole time if she's gonna have antlers the whole time. I can't do it. So that's where I am right now.
I was there with you, stopped watching, and then started watching again, and it's not bad.
It's
not.
Do you eventually get over the antlers? Because like I can't.
No, you don't ever get over the antlers because they're antlers. So
he said they're antlers.
Yeah, so you can't really get over them. But it does get better, and I almost start getting Mando vibes. Because the only reason I say that is because we as society fall in love with cute things.
Okay.
So anytime you add a cute little, oh my gosh, it's so cute, you add a different element.
Bambi.
You well no, but but
he has his face.
Yeah, but there are moments where you're just like, oh, that's so cute. And then there's moments that it gets a little dark. So that's why I'm like, okay, it has its moments where, you forget that these are all kids, and you forget that this is apocalyptic times. And then they remind you,
of course,
and then you're like, oh shit, they're willing to kill kids.
Interesting.
Like,
wow.
So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Phil, write in the comments what this movie you want me to review is and where I can find it. And I got you, son. I got you.
Phil, I guess, was in a movie and he played a role that was, I guess, something happened. So we can definitely do that. We're more than happy to critique you, my friend. Yeah, specifically, as long as the subtitles match up with the words coming out of their mouth.
I mean, unless I can take them off, open borders. Where can I find open borders in 2019?
Oh wow, okay. Oh, and good info on that.
Real. I'm gonna try and find this.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I was just gonna speak to that too. I didn't even know it was a comic.
Oh wow, I didn't either.
Wow.
Also,
you gotta go.
They just released the new Avatar movie trailer.
What?
Yeah,
for the second movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this not some fan made stuff? Make sure, is it real?
Yeah,
it looked pretty real.
Oh god,
but they always do, right? They always do.
It looks pretty real.
Since we are talking about Avatar, which at one point was, the biggest grossing movie,
yes,
in America.
So I think if they had a part 2, they would.
Oh my bad. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't load it up because. My bad. It's the Avatar video game that I was.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool.
Okay,
but it does look dope. It does.
But if you want to talk about video games, you cannot talk about video games if you're not going to mention the Black Panther download.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
August. Black Panther's coming to Avengers in August.
Wakanda is coming to Avengers.
Okay.
Oh, Wakanda. The Dora Milaje coming to Avengers. Like, yeah, it's about to be real.
Claw. All that.
Dopeness. Yeah. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm looking forward to all of that. And there was one last thing.
Guardians.
I wanted to see if maybe Yaz and Tyrone, I don't know about Tylene because he's a couple states away. If y'all wanted to get together for a potential in-person viewing of the Black Widow, which is coming up in a couple weeks, I think just 2 weeks away. I got the AMC movie pass, so I get 1 or 2 free tickets, I believe. Just wondering, what I'm saying, if y'all wouldn't mind, if y'all wanted to go ahead and make it a whole excursion, man, a new Blerd excursion. and then we could check back with Ty, who will watch it via Fire Stick the next.
No, I was just gonna say, I want to watch it with y'all, but like y'all, one of y'all could just like stream it from your phone, and I like, put it to my TV. You know, I got the cables. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it'll be just like I'm right there with you, but I'm not.
We'll be in the theater like this with Ty. Like, yo, Ty, hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom right quick. Yeah. Yo, what happened? What I miss?
That's it.
I'll be sitting like, oh, let me rewind.
No, I'm actually gonna get it. I'm actually gonna go ahead and buy it on Disney Plus. I've already made that.
So you'll pay $30 to see it on your house instead of paying $12 to see it in the movie theater?
Well, I would actually pay more than $12 because I would have my family. They would want to watch it too. I would feel kind of really crazy just going.
All right, I love your family. I love your family. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah,
but let's be real. Is Ellie and Ty Jr. really going?
Prince William and Eliana, and both of them are into Marvel. Yes, my daughter wakes up every morning and says she wants to watch Incredible Hulk, or she wants to watch Spider-Man. I'm taking a page out of Mati Lego for parenting guide, and I'm allowing my children to watch the Avengers and all of that kind of stuff. So yes, they have full knowledge of who is who and who they like. And my daughter loves Incredible Hulk.
That's what's up. Is it because she's always so angry like him, and then like she
Absolutely.
smiles, and then you're like, oh my God, she's so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. She's destructive, just like Hulk. She breaks up everything. So yeah, I can see where they relate. How they would relate. So yeah.
All right, cool. Well, on that note, man, I think we've got plenty. We got to start. We have to start. We should consider getting our shows under like 360 minutes. I try so hard. Like I was like, this week we might. Yep. I know we did it last week and the week before when I was kicked out of the McDonald's and all that. But I want to start trying to get it done last week.
We actually got it done last week. We got out here at like
so I'm the problem. Okay, my bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, look, like, I want to say about 30 minutes ago, with 10 minutes left in the show, you was like, we're about to get 5 minutes left in the show. You said, yo, we're about to get out here in a little moment. And then what you did was start a whole nother conversation about Handmaid's Tale.
I did.
And all of it. So
I did.
But we love talking to you too, Vince, and it's okay that you enjoy this time so much that you want to extend it. I appreciate it.
It is the highlight of my week. I was talking to one of our digital marketers, Sarah, who I think was here before, and it was a few weeks back. We were talking on like a Friday night, and I was getting ready everything for the show, and she's calling, she's asking for stats, like, hey, we need this, we need that. She's like, what are you doing right now? And I was like, oh, I'm getting everything ready for the show. She's like, and that's like what you look forward to the most out of every week, isn't it? I was like, yes, it is. I was like, it is. I was like, it's the highlight. She's like, it's the highlight of your week. I was like, it is. I'm sorry, I admit it. It has become the highlight of my week, being able to wake up and talk with you guys. I don't have that same feeling of like waking up for work where it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hell yeah. Like today I finally get to talk about, you know what I'm saying, the Time Warrior. So that's the whole thing, man. But anyway, we do have to get out here for real. I do have to actually, and we have a meeting right now, if I'm not mistaken, with a gentleman with regards to some other stuff. So look
big things coming up.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's talk next week, guys. Y'all look out for the new Blerd order. As always, every single week, we're going to come through bringing the hot topics about nerdy, blurdy stuff. And as always, be your authentic self. If you're not being yourself, what are you being? You're being fake. And don't forget shout out
to everybody in the comment section too.
Shout out to the comment section, man.
Love y'all.
Lisa, come on through. Vince, come on through.
Roberto.
Minnie, freaking Phil, everybody, like the loyals, you know what I'm saying? Everybody. Q ain't showed today like he was supposed to, but it's all good, man. And Sue, everybody, even Daniel and Charles and Daniel and Sue, who send stuff in the inbox all the time. Hey, did you see this?
Everyone,
see that? Appreciate every single.
Hey, too.
All right, who's in long on the show now? Huh? Who's prolonged on the show now? All right,
we just wanted to thank y'all. We wanted to thank y'all. So all right, go ahead.
God damn it,
go ahead.
You know what? let that geek flag fly. Shit.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, phony Ken and Ra. You, I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging and the uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear.